Hey everybody, sorry for the late start. I was looking for some components to do a couple demos, and as usual, can't find the components that I need. So I was watching that theremin presentation, the history of the theremin, which is always an instrument I always liked. So I have a couple of them. I was going to do a little demo using theremin MIDI to control some synths, but misplaced the power supply for my theremin, so that's not so cool. Anyway, I didn't want to delay any longer since some people thought I was going to start tonight, so I thought I would just do it and do something else. Theremin for next time. Let's see, make sure this audio's coming out okay. Basically until I get somebody else on here to chat. Hey, I'm growing as going. Come on in if you want. You can do audio only. You don't have to do camera if you don't want. Just do avatar or whatever. Adjust my using the Behringer interface again because I wasn't too sure about my my ATEM Mini having problems, and rather than play with it for 30-40 minutes, I said I'm just gonna do whatever. So let's switch this back to live chat. Hey, Chris said, come on in. As they say, the water is fine, sort of. So if you missed the beginning, no theremin demo. I was inspired by the theremin presentation. I was gonna do a theremin MIDI thing with a couple synths, but I misplaced my theremin power supply, so it ain't going to happen right now. Okay, he's gonna have some tea. Yeah, I was gonna try a couple things. One of them is this my little secret weapon. Using this ancient Ensoniq powered MIDI module to convert pitch to MIDI from a theremin audio source or a guitar or whatever. That was my original theremin MIDI connection until about a Theremin Mini. The problem, I couldn't use the Theremin Mini because I also misplaced my MIDI USB to MIDI Kenton box, because I haven't used it probably for at least 6 months, maybe a year. So either one of those solutions would have allowed me to do this demo I'm trying to do, but it was not meant to be. Not meant to be. What else I have to hook up here in nearby surroundings? I did Tenorion last time. Didn't want to do that again. What else can I hook up here? This camera's too close to show any kind of keytar action. I could have hooked up the keytar, but you won't be able to see it since I'm using the laptop camera right now. What else? I don't have my... I could hook a contact mic up to this thing. These little Columbos with contact mics are always fun. Let's see. Where is that contact mic? Oh, yeah, I have these, I found one of my ice stomps. I was talking about it before. Digitech ice stomp. So it's a pedal you can program from iOS apps that have basically little VSTs of guitar pedals. Hayes was talking about one a while back, used by was it? Adrian Ballou, I think. Anyway, one of his pedals is in the stack of things you can load in here. So I have it on my app. Unfortunately, one of the things I forgot about, because I haven't used iStomp since I worked at Apple a long time ago. One of the problems is, in their infinite wisdom, hey Keith, how's it going? Hey Inky. It came out when iOS was using 30-pin connectors, not Lightning, and definitely not USB-C. So I have a USB 30-pin to Lightning on the way from Amazon, and it's late. It was supposed to get here this morning, and it's probably coming tonight. So I can't program the pedal right now, otherwise I would hook this up and try it, because I don't think it comes loaded with any thing off the bat. And one of these I left empty, so this might be a waste of time to just hook it up and try it, because I don't think I programmed this particular one. So that's another future thing to do. And it's pretty cool. There's some really gnarly pedals to load into the iStomp. And the nice thing is that the app still works. It's still in the App Store. You can still download the modules for it. So that's always nice. It's not a defunct product. It's just that stupid 30-pin connector problem. That's annoying. But like everything else, you just adapt it and move on. So I'm just looking for my. Where did I put that adapter? Oh, it's in this other bag. Sorry. Making all this noise for no reason. These cord clip-on contact mics are quite cool. I did a stream a while back with my hand pan or hang drum, whatever you want to call it, and some other tank drum and some other instruments, all connected via the contact mic. And it worked quite well. Just find my contact mic. There it is. And I just untangle it. It's all tangled up. Come on. Probably these right angle connectors. The right angle connectors get snagged really easily on stuff. Okay. So now I have to plug this into the input of my mic preamp here is a Voice Lab 2, which also has cool effects I can use at the same time. So I'm going to feed the input into this guy and use the it's going to affect my voice at the same time. I don't think you can turn off the mic on the input, so I might have to be quiet while I'm playing, because I don't have another pedal handy this moment to plug this into, so I'm going to have to use this thing. So bear with me while I plug this into the back of this thing. I always forget where the input is on this guy. If it doesn't work off the bat, I might just skip it, because sometimes you have to do some weird routing with this box. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not feeding anything to the contact mic inputs. Oh, wait a minute. We got a delay here on it. Okay, it's there, but it's very, very low. Let's do, of course, I don't have enough light over here to see all the controls. Problem with the Moody Studio is you can't see shit. So if I turn this on, you'll probably hear reverb on my voice. it's there, but it's real low. To amplify this guy. So it's probably better if I choose a guitar preset on here and just turn the, everything off but the reverb, because then it should be ready to take that input. Hopefully this doesn't make it super loud glitch your wise swap presets. You can also do fun stuff like this. What does this one do? Yeah, this one turns your. Let me put on that one.
Yeah, it's not working. 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 This is a fun precept. 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 Like a Klingon plug.
This one's fun. Now I can sound like this instead. Hey everybody, how you doing? It says it's a child's voice, but it's somewhere between a child's voice and a woman's voice with my voice. So.
is written. Amen.
This is a fun one. You can do opera with this one. It's more like Klingon opera. You guys know Star Trek. Yeah, Vogon poetry, exactly. This one. So this has some doubling voices, reverb. It's called Space Choir. This is supposed to be a big hall. It's actually not that loud. This one is the sense of falling. Is a falling. Is this one? Oh no, this is the free falling Tom Petty one. T-Pain fans. You have the hard tuning in here. California love. It's called T-Painful. T-Painful. Yeah. Oh, they're not posted the link? Sorry, guys. My bad. That was stupid. Hold on. I was having so many tech difficulties earlier, I completely forgot to post the link. Let's pin it. Pin it, pin it, pin it. I was just killing time till somebody joined in. There you go. Sorry about that. I just read the message. I don't know how many times you guys posted that, but. All right. Well, the contact mic's not working, so. What else can I hook up here? Can't do my theremin. Can't do my contact mic. Ah, cool. Here we go. Hey. Sorry I forgot the link earlier.
Hiya.
How's it going?
All right, yeah. Let me turn you up because you're very low. Actually, you're cranked.
Am I
I've got
very
you
low?
on
I
that.
just probably got to get closer to my mic.
Yeah. You got an NT1A, haven't you? Well, look at it.
Yeah, and I'm using a mixer, not a proper preamp. So
Right. Oh, hello.
Hello.
We have royalty here. Electoral
Hey.
royalty turns up.
hey, you're
Hardly.
too fancy for this room.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm not stopping actually. But yeah. How are you both?
We're just gracious you're here. Gracious of your immense presence. What's happening with Jim? You've been quiet last couple of weeks.
Oh,
You-
I've been ill.
Oh, right. Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I've
Had-
been ill. Shit,
had the-
been on it.
The dreaded COVID.
Yeah.
It's
I've
a
had a
bit.
rubbish cold.
It's a bit
Yeah,
rough
people
this
still
time.
getting that. It sucks. I still haven't gotten it once, but I'm just lucky.
I had my
Yeah.
COVID jab today.
All right.
Strange thing about my COVID jab is my COVID jab's tomorrow. I went on the wrong day. I still
Oh.
got jabbed.
Oh, that's
I
good.
didn't find out till I got home. I was like, wonder why she couldn't find me on her list. And I looked, oh, it's supposed to be tomorrow. Oh, shit. Whatever.
Go get double dosed.
No. One's enough. I've got one stiff arm. I don't need two stiff arms.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no. I've been really quiet, just ill. Lots of lying in bed watching box sets on Netflix, and
Yeah.
yeah.
I was utter rubbish last week. I was really crap. I'm not too bad this week. I'm back to my usual, just averagely crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, jeez. Oh, it just feels like a bit of a slog at the minute. I've got the EMOM tomorrow, Derby
yeah?
EMOM. Yeah.
All right.
So I've got to try and work myself up to that.
Yeah, Red Bull, off you go. You'll be fine.
I can't. No,
I
don't
can't do
taste
Red
that
Bulls.
stuff.
You ever
No.
had Red Bulls? Well,
Red
I
Bull.
worked at a sports company, and they got a Red Bull fridge full of Red Bulls. You know, Red Bulls are basically free. When I worked at this
Yeah.
sports company, I had one while I was there for like 5 years. It just gave me a headache. It's like,
Yeah.
It's a good mixer if you're up late at night.
But ever since doing A-level chemistry and doing esters, I've just
Right.
been, I smell Red Bull and I'm like, it just reminds me of A-level chemistry lessons.
right.
But no, that shit is poison. It's horrible.
It's not good, is it?
No.
Well,
No,
there
not-
are bodybuilders who actually died. They drank a whole bunch of it and worked out, and then had a heart
I'm
attack.
not surprised.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
surprised.
there's the taurine in it, which isn't great. You got absolutely shed loads of caffeine, and you got shed loads of sugar.
Yeah.
and the sugar. And I know this Dom used to drink a lot of it, and it's probably what finished his pancreas off.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
With the sugar, sure. Yeah, there are sugar-free versions, but it's still
Yeah.
not good as a sugar-free one.
I'm sure
Yeah.
a lot of these people that are sponsored don't actually have a can that says Red Bull on it, but they don't actually drink it. They've got
No,
something else
no.
inside it. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like Max Verstappen, I don't think he's
No, I
caning
don't-
the Red Bull.
No, I don't think he is. He's probably not allowed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Probably one of the things you're not allowed to drink,
Totally.
Pretty damn successful for a one-product company for so long,
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, to be honest.
Mm.
They've done well, but I'd never, ever liked Red Bull.
But I'm waiting for all the class action lawsuits that happen over the next 10, 20 years.
Oh,
as
there'll be a lot of that.
Yeah, as they realise that, pancreatic cancer's shot up, and the energy drinks companies are probably largely to blame.
well, the problem is that they literally put sugar or at least high fructose corn syrup in everything now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's a diet thing, they say, "Oh, we take the fat out, but we put more sugar in, or
Yeah,
some kind of sweetener."
But fat isn't bad for you. It's like not
No,
like
you-
that.
Everything in
Yeah.
moderation. Yeah, it's
You know,
people want
it's-
to gorge on shit and not be responsible. So.
sugar is just, well, I mean, you can actually ingest quite a lot of glucose without making yourself really ill. But
Lucasade.
yeah, it's the fructose that.
Remember Lucasade?
Yeah.
That big
Exactly.
bottle of stuff in that. Like, why do they put it in that plastic wrap? I never understood. I don't get that. Why is it not just a bottle? Oh, you
Well,
probably won't know where you are. Do you have Lucasade in America?
I don't think so. What is that?
It's like
It's
a
like
sugary
a
drink. Didn't have like
Glucose drink.
didn't have
Yeah.
like 15 spoonfuls of sugar per
Like
300
those
Well,
squeezers things that kids drink. It's like a little plastic bottle you squeeze and it has like
No.
fruit in it.
No. It used to be like a glass bottle back in the day, and,
Yeah.
and you know, I think you're the same era as me, aren't you, Steve?
Yeah.
So yeah, it used to be a glass bottle.
Oh, you
It's
will.
like
It's
just-
have this
yeah.
Lucasade.
Loads of glucose in it,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
and
Really
orange
sugary.
flavoured
Like
glucose.
horrible. It's horrible. It's like,
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did it so they didn't want to be ill. You know.
Yeah, I think it's just to get you the fuck out of bed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like,
You don't have your Lucas. You can have to go to school. Oh,
I mean, people love their damn sodas, though. I mean, sodas are just. I used to know a guy who drank it like water. We go on a hike, and he's got a 2-liter bottle of soda. I'm like, that's your water?
yeah,
yeah.
what's wrong with water? You know?
Always makes me laugh when you see some companies trying to sell some drink or something. Stay hydrated. Water? Isn't that hydration? Just drink water. Don't have to drink your stupid drink at 18 times the cost. Just fucking drink water.
Especially Gatorade. If you don't drink Gatorade ice cold, it is so goddamn sweet.
We don't have Gatorade here, do we?
No,
Do we?
no,
Don't have that?
don't think so.
Gatorade is like our Lucasade. We've heard of it, but we don't have it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, so that's one of those sports drink thingies. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in Japan they have Pocari Sweat, which is weird. It's like dairy based,
So
so it's cloudy and
No.
it's has a terrible name. Who wants to drink something called sweat?
Well, yeah.
well, you
Some
never
people
know.
would.
Totally.
The world's full of strange people.
Unless you're a fetish, yeah, it's a fetish for some.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well,
enough of drinks and shit. Back to music.
I'm going to show you something that I've been
What
busy
have you
with.
done?
If I can
Have you been
get my
soldering? Oh, your camera's gone.
oh, it has gone. Hang on.
Yeah. You've unplugged it accidentally, I think.
I think I have. Let me try that again. Yeah, it's definitely unplugged. Oh.
You're
Yeah.
back. You're back.
No, that's the wrong camera.
All right,
That's-
okay.
Oh,
So if you had multiple cameras, I ain't even got one here.
Right, let me.
this was my A10 Mini Pro's.
He's on it. He's on it.
Another person. Hey, here he is. Hey,
Hey, Robert.
Hello.
nice little buchla thingy the other day. It was cool.
Heidi, hi.
Hello. How are we all doing?
What's happening in Richardland? And what's cooking? What are you doing?
Working. That's the main thing.
All right. Oh yeah, that helps. Pays the bills, doesn't it?
Working and getting or signing up for all the free theatre tickets at work at the moment.
Okay. Right. So you probably can't see it, but I've
Yeah.
actually managed to rack mount my console one.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
So I got a 4-unit blank rack plate, and cut a big hole in it and screwed my console one into it. So
Wow.
now lives in the rack, which is rather nice.
What does the
That's sort of-
console one do?
It's basically a sort of channel strip controller and plug-in
Right.
combined. So
Okay.
it does like SSL.
Is it
plugins
hardware, yeah?
And so it's a hardware software hybrid.
Okay.
So it's got like a sort of shaper section, EQ, compressor, filters, gain, pan, volume, stuff like that. Basically a channel strip,
Yeah.
as if it's hardware, but it controls a particular plugin that you put in every channel on your door.
Oh,
and
okay.
then you basically can just select the channel using the hardware and tweak it. And
It's a
do
bit
that.
like a Roland plug out, but for effects sort of thing.
Yeah, for a mixing desk basically.
Yeah.
So I've got the SSL 4000, the 9000. I've got the Vice Gambit Series 1 and a couple of others. A Neve one that's really nice.
Right.
That's beautiful. That it's got a lovely sort of lower mid in it.
Is that a stereo thing, or is it just one channel?
It's basically the plugin can be mono or stereo.
Right.
And it'll just control it, depending on whether you've got a mono or stereo instance.
Okay. Cool.
But it's absolutely brilliant. It's really sort of quick workflow kind of thing.
And what are you using that for? Is that a funny specific task? Is that for like mastering or?
Generally mixing, but I mean it's not used so much now. But yeah, and could be used for mastering as well. I can use it for I might have say the Vice EQ on there and control it with that.
Right.
So that's a nice, decent mastering EQ.
Game on.
So yeah, but to free up a bit of desk space, it's now in there,
Yeah.
and it's handy.
Oh, so it was a desk unit. It was a desk
Yeah.
module, was it?
Yeah. So I've got the equivalent fader unit, which is this. So
Right.
it's the same sort of form factor as this, same size.
Right. And you just
yeah,
basically
I've
racked it.
Yeah, chucked it in the rack. So
Yeah, yeah.
probably just lift it out actually. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
there we go.
Going on. Don't drop it. Don't do a gaz on us. Yeah,
Oh, why? What did he do?
he went to reach something and he knocked
Oh,
over a
famous
microphone. He knocked over his sledge, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was
famous.
it was a headphone tree stand for a bunch of headphones, and
Yeah.
he fell
Yeah.
down and broke some keys on his sledge.
No.
It was on
God.
Sonic State like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's a classic.
Oh.
It's a classic
Oh.
meme video. It's there somewhere. So yeah, don't do that.
No, I'll try not to.
No.
I'll try not to knock a drink into my Mac again as well.
Yeah, don't do that. I was watching Accurate Beats the other day, and he was having a drink, and then his drink was all over his MPC one. Like, oh shit! He quickly dried it all up. It was all okay. I think it mostly went over the mouse mat, but yeah, he went all over his desk.
I'm surprised this thing down here is not covered in tea after this weekend.
Just put a sheet of cling wrap over your MPC, then you can do whatever you want. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Just put it in a Tupperware box, it'll be fine.
yeah.
Apart from you can't use it.
So are you playing new stuff at your thing, Jim?
Which thing?
Oh yeah, your email.
Emom,
Yeah.
Emom.
Any new tracks? Or you're not into it?
Um, no, I've not actually written anything new.
Well, something you
So-
didn't play at the other live stuff.
Well, like the Sonic State, yeah, I'll do a couple more that I didn't play at that.
Mix it.
For the album. Yeah.
Then I've got another gig on Sunday in Nottingham, I think called
Alright.
Hockley Hustle.
Bit of a
It's
tour
like-
then going on, yeah.
Yeah.
You need a t-shirt.
Oh God, I'm fed up of it now. To be honest, I just want to leave it all set up.
This is you saying yes to it. Could you just go? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Pretty much. I think the Sunday one's probably going to be my last one before the end of the year, though. 'Cause,
Right.
and then I've got a New Year's Eve gig in Sheffield.
Right.
So, yeah,
Hang on.
should be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got loads of other stuff I want to take care of. I've got some synth repair to do. I want to work on some new material. Yeah. So
You got to keep doing new stuff. I've got way too much. I've got loads of little tracks halfway finished, and sort of if you don't grab hold of the track you've halfway finished quick enough, you end up starting another track, and then that halfway done track just goes further and further into the distance, and
yeah,
then it never gets finished, which is really annoying because it had, it's got some sort of interest in it. You could do something with it, but unless you actually get hold of it, it just ends up being one of the many that.
I mean, yeah. I guess it's one of the good things about the EMOM thing is like, you can write something and test it out and sort of work on it a bit, sort of live,
Yeah.
try different arrangements and stuff like that.
Yeah, spin it
But,
around.
Yeah, saying that, I say I've not got any new stuff, but I started messing around with different themes in an existing track. So I made it's one of the Gestalt remixes. So I'm perhaps going to do something different with that.
I'm going to do a remix of a Boo track.
Wicked.
I was listening to some Boo stuff the other day, some older tracks,
Right.
and I feel something like I think it's We Are Ghosts or something like that. It's one of the tracks.
Yeah.
And I was just listening, if the drums were less busy, and that was blah blah. I thought, I'll just write a comment. I got it'd be cool to hear like a remix of that, just
Yeah.
like as a comment. And they go like,
Yeah.
here's a Google Drive, download it. Oh
Wicked.
shit! Okay.
Excellent. Do you know what they are? They're the nicest fucking people as well. They really
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Chris and Bridget. That honestly, it was so nice to meet them and get.
I
to
don't think they're gonna. I thought I might get a comment back, but the
Yeah.
comment back was, "Here's the Google Drive. Here's the stems. Have a go."
That is awesome.
Bloody hell! Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to get my rear ending gear and download it. Well, I've got it downloaded. I need to like get it into my MPC so I can like
Yeah.
play with it.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Different, isn't it? You know, I've never
Yeah.
done a remix, so
All right.
it'll probably be terrible, but you know, we'll have a go.
Well,
So
I think you know you got to give yourself a break. The first time doing anything is generally not going to be great.
Yeah.
But, you know, you've
yeah.
got to start somewhere. But you never know. You might surprise yourself and
Well.
just come out with something like it's a
if
stormer.
it's not shit, I'll definitely be surprising myself.
There you go. That's your target then. Not shit.
Yeah, not shit. Yeah, that's my bar that I'm aiming for.
But yeah, no, I've done some remix stuff before. It's
Alright.
quite cool, and stuff that wasn't, you know, electronic either. It's quite good fun taking something that's more pop or.
I have done one
indie.
remix. Just remember, I did one remix in the 80s for a band that I recorded.
Hmm.
And it ended up the remix. They liked the remix better than their own way of arranging it in the end.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
I'm just amazed that they even replied.
No, that's wicked.
Yeah.
They're super nice people, and
Right.
yeah, really, really open-minded, and
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Looks
very
like it, doesn't it?
talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
talented. You know, it's like
They got a new LP out this end of this month, haven't they? A new
Yeah.
album.
it's coming out on Halloween, I think, because obviously Boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Should
So-
be cool.
So yeah, no, it should be wicked. So
No,
right, I'm gonna love you and leave you because
Okay.
I'm still flagging from
Yeah.
all this,
Get
all this
well,
shit.
get organised, and get on.
Yeah,
Yeah, good
Yeah.
to see you. Thanks.
yeah, no, cheers for having us on. And Robert, I love the way that every time you come into one of these shows, you manage to just have the perfect tone of a supervillain. It's like,
Where's your
Hello-
white cat?
hello.
Hello.
Good evening.
yeah.
He's got
Good
to have a
evening.
cat to stroke.
Yeah.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Glue.
Oh, you should do voiceovers. You really should.
No,
Oh, is any of your emails going to be video, by the way? At all? We don't know.
Yeah, probably not the one tomorrow, but I've I've kind of got plans for doing that. And sort of finding a better way of sort of live streaming it rather than just a shitty phone on Facebook. Facebook Live is terrible for doing any
Yeah.
kind of music streaming because it
Bandwidth is
loses
really low as well,
sync.
isn't it?
It just loses sync all the time. It's like appalling. So, well, not only loses sync, it just like
Just seminars on there can be.
Yeah.
annoying. Yeah, it's just. Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay,
Right,
look forward to that.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah,
And,
cheers,
Wow.
cheers,
see you
cheers.
soon. Take care. Cheers. Bye.
I like the Monty Python take on the bad guy with the cat, except he had a rabbit. Remember that episode where
Yeah.
Graham Chapman has a rabbit, and he realizes it's dead. He goes, "Flopsy!" He shoots it.
or then in Holy Grail, where you have the killer rabbit of
The killer rabbits, yeah. 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 Okay, well, so what are you doing music-wise then, Richard?
Robert.
Robert even.
Uh,
Oh, close, isn't R? R's good enough, isn't it?
It's
There's
in
a
the
whole
ballpark.
world of people out there. 7 billion. I can't remember everybody's name.
what am I doing music-wise? Well, not a lot. Finally, well, what I started doing a few months ago on the booklet, finally recorded that. So it's literally that patch that's been on the. Well, actually, yeah, as I say, it's been on the. Well, I've done different things, and then I've gone back to it.
So you got your easel. Is it your easel in the bottom
Yeah.
corner? Yeah.
I've finally recorded that on. Was it Sunday night?
Have you got any music out on like Bandcamp or SoundCloud or anything?
I mean, there's a bunch on SoundCloud. I mean, there's one album on Bandcamp under a different name if you want to look of my old stuff.
Okay.
Or album, I say it's 4 tracks, but I think it's unlikely for anybody ever to find it, and that's probably for the better.
Okay. Is it a while ago then? Yeah.
I think it was like 2 years ago I put it
Oh,
out.
it's not
but,
that long. It's quite new then, really. 2
but
years is like
it-
almost new.
uh, well, it's like stuff I did 10 years ago.
Right. Oh, right. You uploaded it a couple of years ago, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
older music.
yeah. It's just and it's very different. I don't think I would do any sort of music in that style again.
So, what sort of stuff do you do then, music-wise?
Mhm. No, no, well, I think probably my SoundCloud is a good description of some weird electronic stuff, some very boring electronic stuff.
Like experimental type stuff.
I mean, I would call it experimental, but it's not really experimental in the grand scheme of things. It's all still very tonal,
Right.
but and then some very heavily, well, let's call it neoclassical or film music inspired
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
There's a
Like
lot of that.
soundtrack type music type thing.
Yeah, it's just in the sort of direction of Oliver Arnold's but it's very much that sort of ambient-y classical.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Do you usually do stuff all live and then just record it, or do you put it in a DAW and create it that way? How do you
Uh,
create it?
Depends if it's like uh, or there's a few stuff where as I say on a SoundCloud there's very few, but the occasional bit of just like press record, edit a bit, but that's it. I mean that's mainly on YouTube recently. Or
Oh
if
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. I remember you doing some YouTube stuff with the easel and stuff. Yeah, I remember
yeah,
that.
al- also all the live streams I did in the past, it was just do it all live, don't think about it.
You just basically turn it on, hit live, and then just fiddle and mess around and see where
Yeah,
it goes, sort of thing.
yeah, that's one thing, but then for many of the other things, it's just, I would say quite almost every time it's either start on a sound that then ends up as being the lead thing, or start on a piano and then have an idea of, oh, I want this sort of slow string thing, or this sort of slow held woodwinds, and then do other things.
Oh right, so it's not
It,
just electronic stuff. You'll do sample-based stuff as well.
yeah, there's I have invested far too much money into Spitfire audio over the years.
Wow, yeah, people do that, don't they? It's a bit of a. You get on the train of sample packs. And you go, oh, I need the next one because that's got an extra something on it, and you're not getting that.
Yeah, and then you get to the point, or same with a synth with me. I just like haven't really, bought anything for a while because well, software particularly. I'm just like, no, I don't need it. Why do I need something new? Is it? It's just is it as much as it would be nice, I don't have it set up to use it properly in the grand scheme of things. Or for it to be conveniently used, it becomes effort.
Yeah.
So like, or having a template that's always loaded, or the ability to load it quickly.
What do you use as your DAW? Then what's your
Cubase.
Cubase? Yeah, seems to be dead popular.
Yeah, 18 years with that, and it's a bit
I
hard
had
to at that point.
when before Cubase came out, there was Steinberg Pro 24 and Steinberg Pro 12. I had Steinberg Pro 12 for like 2 weeks, and I sent it back because the whole manual had no index at all. It's like so you couldn't find what was on page whatever because there's no index. It's like I'm not going to learn this, so it went back. So I got Trackman 32 instead. But yeah, so I never really got into Cubase, basically because Steinberg put me off it. But apparently it's really good. Well, it is really
But
good.
they're all the same nowadays,
Yeah.
apart from like Ableton and Bitwig on the front pretending to be different, but then they're all the same nowadays.
Yeah, I've got Logic, but I don't really use it. Well, I use it very sparingly, just to do like a pitch correction on some vocals or something, if it really needs it. Just like, other than that, I can't be bothered. Just stay in the NPC because I'm basically lazy. So it'll do in the NPC is my sort of motto. Unless it's really broken, then I'll try and fix it.
I mean, again, for me, it's I've been on Cubase for so long that even with the other things where I was just like, oh, this would be great, but in Cubase I know what to press to get that function.
Yeah. It's a bit like we were talking today on Sonic State, wasn't it? About what would it take you to move to another DAW? And most people went, it ain't going to happen because I'm just so ingrained in the whatever you're using. You're so used to it that
What,
it would really have to do something flipping amazing.
what would it take? A few years.
Yeah, well, yeah, literally, yeah. That's what Ty said. He'd need to say. He said he would need to take a year off to learn something new because he's so ingrained in Cubase and innuendo that he uses. So yeah, difficult, isn't it? Difficult to move, I think, when you get used to something like that. Oh well, look, I've actually popped the chat out to see what the chat is talking about. They're probably taking the piss on me getting your name wrong, but you know,
It's
I'm
only
old.
Inky taking the piss.
Yeah, well. I take the piss out of Inky anyway. She's lovely, but yeah, what can you do? Bless her. Andy, you're really quiet. What are you doing?
Hunting down power supply. I was going to see if I could try to get this thing working. This is the Easy EG. Have you seen one of these before?
Is it like a MIDI guitar?
Yeah, it's just got buttons on the frets. So it's
Okay, that's different.
buttons on the frets.
Oh
What?
yeah, I
Whammy
remember that.
bar, wooden body,
Yeah,
super light. It has these little stringy like things.
yeah.
So
It's
you
a bit.
can
Do you remember the
play it.
Synfax?
Yeah, that thing's weird. It's Matson who also designed the Matson Mini Modular.
Right. It's a bit like because the Synfax had like two sets of strings, one to strum and one for fretting. Or did
Yeah.
it have strings on the frets? I can't
It had
remember.
those weird keys too.
It did, yeah. You had 6 keys and then you could press down 3 at once as well, didn't it?
And
It was
the angle
crazy
of the neck is
price.
this weird angle that goes on.
Yeah, yeah. It was really good though. What I saw of it, it just never.
It
was just
sounded
so
good when they played it. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it's so expensive. It didn't really
Yeah.
catch on.
let's see if this actually works. Curious.
Crazy.
I bought it years ago. Don't know if it works, but it is MIDI too, which is the reason I got it. So
Right. Is it a bit like the Casio thing, sort of thing? The DG20, whatever it's called.
it's more like a DG than the PG. I have a PG 380, which is a proper guitar,
Right.
but also has the VZ brain in it for synth and proper MIDI out, so you can do 3 different things at one time,
All right.
or one or you know, whatever. So yeah, so this is plugged in, but I don't know if it's actually. Oh, I'm getting some output. I'm gonna turn it up. Oh, it's doing some demo. That's bad. What is that? I hit an autoplay button here.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. There you
That
go.
was, that
Diplomatic.
was the demo.
Was it?
2, 3, 4. Hey, stop playing the demo.
I like the demo. Keep going.
So there's play modes. There's strum, chord, and both. So let's see. Remember my damn frets.
Ink is asking, what musical are you working on at the moment?
Me?
What? I'm not.
No, not you.
Oh, sorry.
The guy below you.
Sorry.
I
I didn't see the name. I wasn't reading the chat.
Okay.
haven't worked on a musical for years.
Oh, okay.
Like 4 years, but no, it's great. I work in a theatre, but I don't work on theatre at the moment. It's like
All right.
perfect thing. I just have a day job, and yeah, most of the time I just have my feet on the table.
What's your
bit-
day
bit
job
of fun.
then? What's your day job?
I'm in the workshop of a sound department at a big theatre, and I just repair stuff if other stuff if events need covering or a screen needs delivering somewhere. That's the sort of thing I do.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just work 9 till 6.
All sorts, basically. You do all sorts.
No weekends, yeah, odds and sods, but mainly repairing and testing shit.
Different. So you're a bit like a Kent then, repairing stuff.
Not really. I mean, can't actually manage to get the stuff fixed. Whereas, well, let's say today I spent pretty much 4 hours on the same thing to no avail. Same problem still occurs.
Shit.
It's,
Is the stuff that you're working on like newer stuff, so it's harder to problem solve it?
oh yeah. So the thing, well, I mean, problem solve it. Most of the time, it's relatively easy. It's just you can find what the cause problem is, and then it's like, oh, this is all SMD. Well, I can try and heat gun it and see whether that will fix the problem. Oh no, it made it worse. Oh well, it can go in a bin then.
Oh well. Well, at least you know. At least you know it's now broken because I just broke it. It's got a result. You know what I mean? You're not wondering if it's broken. It's definitely broken now. So yeah. Okay. So you are literally a problem solver. You solved the problem. It's now broken.
Yeah. Make them go away.
Yeah. Sorts your list out. Doesn't it?
Going through repair items, it's like, no, I can't fix this. Good, just delete it. I mean, anything that's cheap enough, nobody fucking cares if I just go in the asset manager and mark it as deleted.
Yeah. Does most of the stuff that gets broken, is it a thing that someone drops it, or does it just stop working with no reason why it stopped working?
I mean, if it's normal use and abuse, like if it's, or what did I recently? A bunch of just computer keyboards where just some keys stop working. It's like,
oh yeah, I've had that with Apple keyboards are terrible. You can't fix them if they stop not working.
Yeah, the modern ones you can't open at all. So the only thing is keep one around for spare keycaps, and all the others
just scrap it.
Go in the bin.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
Same with mice. If a mice goes down, that's the end of the mouse. You just like forget it. It's like done. Toast. Not like the old days of taking the ball out and cleaning all the little rollers. You can't do that anymore, can you? Remember doing that? I used to do that every day in like 2002. First thing, you get to work, get your mouse, take the ball out, clean it, so you got a day's worth of usable mouse.
Get the IPA on the rollers.
Yeah, alcohol, the ball, and the scrape the hair that collected around the rollers.
Yeah, good old days, eh?
But to be fair, you still have with LED wise getting the hair out of the window.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
No, it's more annoying when you have a clear see-through mouse. Then you're like just like, why is there so much hair in there? When did I last clean it? Oh, I can't remember. I should probably open up this mouse and take out all the fluff. This is disgusting to look at.
Yeah. It's amazing what turns up in there. You got bits of people's food and all sorts, haven't you?
Yeah, I got this thing for on-the-go cable fixing. You guys seen one of these before?
It's like a rocket.
Gas-powered soldering iron.
Oh shit! You're dangerous, aren't you? Want a light, mate? Yeah.
Blowtorch lighter.
Yeah,
it's great. So you can just repair cables wherever you are. Just keep a little bit of solder with you, and you're good to go.
Just don't go on an airplane with that on because you get arrested.
Well, yeah, there's that. I already have a pocket knife, a bunch of stuff they would hate me for. So
excuse me, officer. This is merely a lighter.
Yeah, butane, fucking 400 watt fucking lighter.
Well, it's great. It's like a pocket Bunsen burner. So
yeah. That's.
Excuse me, constable. I was nearly lighting my cigarette. I was not trying to burn a hole.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's made by Weller, guys who make the soldering iron systems.
Ah, okay.
You mean the German company that makes shit overpriced soldering irons?
Well, I didn't say they were great. I just said they made them.
I mean, they do make some decent ones, but they're just completely overpriced.
There's a Japanese company that makes one my friend buys. He swears by them, and I forgot the name of it, but they're not that expensive, and they're really good temperature control. Forgot the name of the damn company, though.
I'm just Metcal all the way. Bloody expensive, but such a nice system because your temperature control is actually in the tip. So the tips are bloody expensive as well, but
Jeez.
normally
sounds like it.
they last forever. So it's basically you just
So
have
is
a
a
power
thermistor in the tip?
well, you just have your pulse width modulation power supply, and then the tip just, depending on what temperature it's designed to work out, it just sets the pulse width rate for the power supply. But the thing is, you can solder in extremely low temperatures because it's so close to the tip where it's actually heating.
Yeah.
So you can do like well, you can basically remove the tear where there's a plastic film that's on the cable. Just grab another one. 3 minutes later, the first one is completely cold because of how little of it is actually only heated up.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Yeah, I don't make much anymore. I fix cables once in a while. That's about it. So I gave up on Arduino. It was just not as nice as I wanted it to be. So.
Soldering is overrated.
I mean, it does save a lot of money if you don't mind spending the time. And I agree with the saying that time is money, right? So you can spend all that time making the stuff and having fun making it, say you made it, and that's cool. But if you add up all that time, especially if you had to redo things and troubleshoot, I'd rather just spend the money and get the pre-made module.
I can't be bothered to build anything. My idea of building something is plugging the lead in.
Or
I'll
Lego,
build it.
right? You like Lego?
I used to like Lego, yeah. But treading on it's not so much fun, is it?
No.
But that's wear shoes. Problem resolved.
Yeah. You know, probably the worst thing to like build would be Lego shoes. You think about it.
The guys build
like,
modular cases out of Lego. That's
inflicted,
pretty
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
What a way to make modular more expensive. Build it out of Lego.
Exactly. Well, unless you go to like a thrift store or something and buy all the old blocks and stuff, then you get like a mix and match colors.
Yeah, crazy. Lego. Ugh.
But there was some, drama at one of the Lego chains around. It wasn't in this state, I don't think it was, but because Lego started doing some, what people would call woke, stuff like, oh, Lego's woke now, watch out. So they had some gay pride and transgender pride kind of stuff in there because why not? It's
It's a product that either sells or doesn't sell.
doesn't hurt anybody, right?
Yeah.
But
If you don't like it, don't buy it.
Some people go in there and cause a stir and swear their asses off in front of kids. I'm like, so that's appropriate in front of kids. You want to talk about something you don't like in front of kids, and then you're going to be a total asshole, swearing, being a dick, scaring kids in a Lego store. That's really nice.
Well, that's people for you, isn't it?
No, I know. It's just even Lego was in the news lately. That's kind of funny. So it's just,
Crazy. So what are you doing? What are you trying to achieve tonight? I've seen you've had the Voice Live 2 on, and now you've got this guitar thing. What are you trying
Voice
to
Live
do?
2 is just because I couldn't get I couldn't find my fucking theremin power supply because I was watching that theremin retrospective
Right.
from that show, and he has that wonderful Clarivox. I do want to get a Clarivox. Those things are amazing, but I just have a classic Moog Etherwave theremin. I have the upgrade kit to add CV to it, but I haven't done that yet.
Right.
I also have a Theramini, but the problem with Theramini is it's USB only out as far as MIDI, but at least it's proper class compliant MIDI. And I
Is that
couldn't
the
find my
chromatic
Kenton
one?
box. Is what?
Is that the chromatic one?
Well, no, you can turn on hard tuning if you want at varying levels,
Yeah.
or have it freeform, and you can run classic waveforms for classic sound, or run Animoog type sounds like the app has.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pretty elaborate system, and it's portable and lightweight. It's pretty cool. But I had a workaround. I was showing this before. There's this wacky. So the company in just down the road in Menlo Park, near Palo Alto, that made these. It's called Breakaway Music Systems, and they took an Ensoniq ESQ1 brain, non-programmable, just like presets, dumped them in this box with some rhythms and stuff, and made this like sing-along thing called the Vocalizer 1000. And I saw this at Sharper Image in high school, like around 85, 86. And I go, that thing is really cool. But it's very gimmicky, and it's not as good as Auto-Tune, where it pitch tracks well. It kind of jumps around a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It's not as intelligent because it's old. But if you're in the ballpark, it does a very good job of tracking the tune. But what I noticed what was beautiful on it is it has DIN 5 MIDI. So I had in the back of my mind, I had that like, oh, I'm not going to get one, but maybe one of these days. And then one day I decided, oh, I know a perfect use for this. Because, JDXI has pitch to MIDI now. It works great.
Yeah.
Well, long before I had that and any other kind of weird box you could buy, this was it. This is the only thing I could find in the market. So I tracked a whole bunch of these down. It's monophonic, which is fine because it's a guitar's monophonic, and so is so is the as far as the most people playing like a melody, it's monophonic,
Right.
and microphones monophonic, right, and so is the theremin. So it tracks perfectly fine with the simple MIDI pitch to MIDI signal. And I was running this to control my virus and a bunch of other shit. And it was really fun. But Theremin obviously does a better job, and also will send modulation and other stuff that this can't do. But just as a basic pitch to MIDI thing, this worked quite well, and I was going to plug it in, but I couldn't find the power supply for my Theremin. So
Do you label your power supplies, or are you just one of these guys?
I do, but I'm behind. I know I have the damn Dymo thing over here, and I'm behind the logo.
I just use a white marker pen. I just write on it. Done.
Well, I like the Dymo because it stands out on the. I use it on my cables too.
Right.
All my cables are labeled, which is good. But yeah, I'm behind in the power supplies. So it's
Makes
very
it
important
fun,
to
doesn't
do
it?
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not just labeling, but where the hell did I put it is the other thing. Because I went
Yeah.
through a whole bunch while you guys were talking, and I couldn't find it even unlabeled. So I was cleaning up for that Clownfest tour, and I can't find a bunch of shit now. So.
Well, clearly you need an asset manager where you mark every asset exactly where it is in which location.
Well, I do have a spreadsheet at least for stuff, so I'm that organized. I
Wow.
just don't have all my stuff labeled. So,
My spreadsheet it's in the house somewhere. We're done. Where it is, I don't know. No idea. But it's there somewhere.
yeah.
It's sort of semi-lost. I know exactly where it is. It's in the house, but where in the house, I don't know where that is. But yeah, close.
You don't keep it on your computer?
No, I don't do anything on the computer like anything like that. I'm crap at that. No. Don't do any passwords on the computer. Passwords on a bit of paper on the wall. Can't lose a wall. It's easy.
Yeah.
You can lose the wall. It's very easy because blink, look away, and it's gone.
Wow.
Happiness.
Yeah. It's worked so far. I mean, we'll see how it goes. What's the chat talking about? Are we being dissed in the chat, or are they being nice? Let's have a look. I have no idea. Oh, David's here. David Serchak's here. Who's going to get a Roland Gaia 2 tomorrow with a bit of luck.
Oh, yeah?
So that should be interesting. I think he swapped his... What did he swap? A Nord keyboard for...
Oh, the Nord Wave?
The Nord Wave, yeah. I think it was a Nord Wave he had. He swapped it for a Gaia 2. Or semi-swapped it, traded it, whatever you call it. So it should be exciting. It's different.
No, I should probably go to bed. So,
Long day, yeah.
yeah, just. Well, also, actually not that long day, but very disappointing morning when I had New Year ear impressions done. So that was just fun listening to my tinnitus and heartbeat for like 5-10 minutes whilst the silicon is drying out.
Great.
And after that, everything started sounding a lot louder. It's like, yeah, what a fun experience.
Anyone got any updates on Kent, by the way? See how he's getting on?
Haven't heard anything, yeah.
Last time I heard was like Saturday that he wasn't doing too bad. But other than
I
that,
shouted on Facebook once in a while, but I didn't want to bother him lately. Cause
yeah. I don't. I just want, whatever it takes to get well again is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, we're all looking forward to when he's feeling like it again.
yeah, yeah. You still got to do that big get together, ain't you? Is it this year or next year? He's going to work that out.
I don't think this year at this point.
I think
No.
yeah, with your because your weather's going to get pretty bad pretty soon.
It's already wet and
Pretty
crappy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can cut the Goner. It is. Today was a lovely shit day.
Really?
Yep.
Just overcast or just pouring down?
Pouring down.
Yeah. Basically,
that's-
it's like the default state of England is either it's just rained, it's about to rain, or it's raining.
It's like Pacific Northwest. Every time I went to Washington or Oregon, especially Oregon for some work trips, I was like, I guess it's a nice day. Like, you're lucky. It's never like this. You know, it's constantly raining there too.
We get about 5 days of summer,
Yeah.
but usually not in a row.
Well,
Yeah,
we had like 3 months this year.
That's
Yeah, it
a
wasn't
joke for
great
people
though,
in
was it?
Wisconsin too. People in Wisconsin complain about the
It
weather.
wasn't
all the
super
time.
hot. Wasn't
Was
super
it
hot.
like last week or the week before where it was suddenly?
Yeah, I was ill though, so I didn't even go
uh,
out. I was just,
When I came back from Synth, getting off a train, it's just like, oh, I've come home to summer. That's interesting. Just not the most fun. Suddenly getting on the tube, like 15 degrees outside. Just I didn't pack my speedos for traveling across London.
yeah, yeah. Well, apparently it's a nice week. I was like, I had a crappy cold, so I was just inside for the whole. I missed our little extra summer thing completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way it goes, isn't it?
I mean, somehow I managed to avoid getting ill at Synfest on the train and with everybody at work having the sniffles or cough.
Sinfest any good? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun meeting all the people, all the lovely folk, and having that lovely dinner.
Mm.
But
Anything took your fancy while you were there that you wanted to have, or
I mean, Tony's emu clones. I am in. Well, I am about to purchase some of that.
all right, that worked then.
Well, definitely wanted last year, but was not in employment last year. So, whereas at the moment I'm making decent money, so I'm just. Well, it just means I need to have to work next year rather than get
If you want goodies, you need to work, don't you? You need to get the money to be able to afford it.
Terrible, isn't it?
Well, that's how the world works, unless you're a bank robber. Yeah.
Nah, not a bank robber, because
No,
You can sell some crack. You know, there are other ways you could do
Have
it.
some crack, yeah.
I mean, you got the OnlyFans. That should be making some money, right? So
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, not
Just
not
think of all the lube sales you're getting through.
come on, sell that ass.
like you always read about people making so much. Very disappointed in myself. It just doesn't make me feel good. How little I get out of it, or maybe I'm just doing it wrong.
Yeah, could be.
You have to
maybe,
make an interesting
maybe-
use of certain flutes and stuff. You know.
or maybe booklet videos of weird atonal sounds are the wrong thing for OnlyFans. Maybe that is not quite. Maybe I gauge the market incorrectly.
You know, when you do your easel videos, are they quite popular? Because it's quite a sort of out there piece of kit, isn't it?
I don't know. I can check what YouTube says. How many people?
Because it's quite a rare beast.
I mean, I think the like on SoundCloud taking something music easily got me like 20 views or 30 views or 30 listens in total. Easel video. What do I have? The latest one, 58. That's a lot. The one before 48,
Okay.
and the one before 78.
I'm going to say it's a very niche. It's a niche of a niche area, isn't it? You think about it.
Well, the
music-wise.
reissue made them more popular. In fact, I'm surprised. I don't know. I know Mark Doty was working there for a while, but I don't know if he did any easel videos or not. Did he do any?
Yeah, he definitely did when the easel command came out.
Yeah. The non-keyboard one, right?
Yeah, when they change the whole thing around.
Is
in
it
that way.
308? Was it called 308?
208C.
208.
That's the modern version that Buchla makes, which has a whole. Well, some things are in a different place, and it has a whole bunch of patch points. But virtually you could only reach over the card, but then the lovely shorting bars to quickly do stuff.
Right.
You can't really, well, because they're using some of the pop points for the sockets for other stuff, so it's no longer. So now in theory, you can, with a modern one, you could connect input to input. Like, I mean, yeah, could be totally fine, but it sort of ruins the design of the original of.
It's
and-
more
and-
Eurorack than original.
No, it's more. It's like it's more functional on the surface, but it does mean some of the things that are really easy to do without using patch cables. You now have to use patch cables. I mean, like, again, it's like, oh, I have to use patch cables. How terrible! When it's like complaining on another level.
So the shorting bars still fit, but they have a different function now?
Yeah, so some of the sockets have changed around.
Hmm.
So
That's too
you
bad.
don't. Well, it's more fun. One of the oscillators, they swapped around which order the two sets of two faders are. So again, when I was at Synfest on it, I was just like, why is this not? I'm touching the wrong thing because they swapped that around and other stuff.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, we're complaining about the shorting bars. It's like, it's no problem. You can just use banana plugs or patch cables, but the shorting bars are a nice and quick way of doing stuff, and also a very neat way.
When you're using the easel, does is it basically you use it with itself? Does it integrate into anything else? Can you get it connected to anything else, or is it just its own thing?
So you can sort of integrate it. So as easy as it has a preamp at the top, which can generate a CV. So in theory, you can send a gate signal into there, and it can.
Okay.
If you drive it hard enough, you can you can send like a click in there and generate a clock from that.
But only those sections, right?
Well,
Just
well,
limited
no,
sections.
it's not the easel isn't very modular, so
Yeah.
you can't change the audio path
Right.
really. So the most change you have, you can take the first low pass gate into the second one, but then you only have one oscillator available. So yeah, it has a very limited audio path that you can't change. And then, I mean, outputs are fine, and inputs in general over the card you can pretty much get them all, but yeah, you can't change the audio path.
Do you mainly like record it and then put it with other things afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done it too much. Just enjoy it as its thing.
Right. You got it because it's something completely different. That's why you picked it up. Isn't it? Like a different tangent of doing music with that.
Well, I just got it because I saw the videos that Nick did with Alessandro Cortini like 10 years ago,
Those are
Right.
cool. Yeah.
and it was just. This seems to make a lot of sense to me, and then like further into it, we're just like, yeah, this actually makes sense. And then over COVID, I decided to just take the plunge and buy the circuit boards and components, and
Oh, you built it?
yeah,
Wow. Shit. Wow. Well done.
it's still utterly expensive, but yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
tip top one looks pretty good. I haven't got any of those yet, but I want to get a tip top system for the Buchla side for Eurorack. Mark Verbos makes a lot of Buchla clone stuff as well, but it's expensive stuff.
Yeah.
So I have the Zero Coast, which is a combination of the West Coast Buchla and the East Coast stuff. So you have low pass gates and wave folding and very Buchla sound mixed in with some other.
That Zero Case is a little box, isn't it? A module.
Yeah,
so-
standalone.
yeah,
it's a
yeah. So that was on
Oh, yeah.
Sonic State a while ago, I think.
They have the Zero Control, and then they have the that other one Cortini designed.
Strega.
Strega. So that makes like a 3-tier system, kind of like the Moog Mother system.
Oh, okay.
What about
And
more
so it has a little
interesting?
ecosystem of its own. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But more affordable.
And
not? No.
not really.
No. Okay.
If you know, make noise.
The
stuff is not
O
cheap.
Coast is affordable, isn't it? The O Coast is like a few $100s. Is that right?
I think
No.
it's $500, something like that. It's not
Yeah.
cheap. So make noise stuff is, even a maths is like $400 or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's same town as Moog, so what do you expect?
Yeah, well, he worked at Moog. That's how he learned his
Yeah.
craft.
Oh, okay.
He started as a tech at Moog and then started his own company. That's Tony Rolando. He's an interesting guy.
All right.
He's also a big collector too. He has a lot of crazy ass synths at home and stuff.
Yeah, he started like just a week after Bob Moog died or something like that, I think.
Yeah, he had some of this story. There's a podcast they interview him. It's pretty interesting. It might even be Milo Melodies. I forgot, but his whole backstory and stuff is really interesting because he makes some whacked out modules. I mean, like Morphogene is a lot of fun. The Telharmonic is really interesting, where it's a combination of the Telharmonium, the phase distortion Casio stuff, and some other digital thing. It's a weird little module.
When you say whacked out in what in how to get a sound out of it, as in it's really
Just
weird, or
different
the sounds that
approaches.
come out of it.
Different approaches for tweaking your sound, different layouts. He's got that kind of weird drafting architecture font.
Oh yeah,
So some people
with
don't like that font.
particularly with the older stuff, he very angry, the stark lines and then
Yeah,
the curved lines.
exactly. Yeah. So some people don't like the look of it because it's just the design, and it's a little bit hard to They're not. It's not like a mini Moog where it's like boom, 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 super flow, easy left to right kind of flow. It's
Right.
like, oh, this goes to here. Oh, okay, this. And what do I do with this? And it's some places, some modules are very simple. Like the symbols are black for outs and not black for ins.
Okay.
And just at a glance, you know immediately. Oh, okay. His are a little more weird, little shapes and stuff. So you have to go. Wait, is that an in?
It's like hieroglyphics.
Kind of. It's more like symbolic, like you get on a schematic.
That's like what the circuit systems originally work. It's like no labeling at all. You just had symbols for different colors
Exactly.
for what inputs and outputs were.
But that I expect, because that's a homemade system out of Cal Arts. So it's it was just some guy screwing around making all that stuff.
Well, then again, many people with Buchla could say it doesn't make any sense.
But it's
No.
funny because Buchla also came out of Cal Arts. So those guys. That's why those guys have kind of similar systems. The Surge and the Buchla are kind of similar.
Yeah, but, I mean, Zurich obviously, or that's 70s, whereas obviously Don started in '64 with
Mhm.
the Tape Music Center stuff. But, yeah, I mean,
He's a
It's
tech
like-
hippie.
it's like any user interface. Either it works for you or it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or going back to Synfest, like one of the things, the Synclavier regen, I'd be really tempted by. But realistically, I'd probably have to have it for like a week to solid, or more realistically, a month or 2 months to decide can
Yeah.
I ever work with this user interface,
Mm.
or is it pointless?
But the stuff that you can do with that, supposedly like Kraftwerk was doing with the Synclavier, like that weird resynthesis speech stuff and all that's really cool.
Mm.
That would be the reason I would get it, is to do all the weird experimental stuff with it, not just the basic presets and all that. Just
For me, it would be even just doorbells and then.
oh sure, the
taking that
FM is
fur-
good on it. Yeah. But like all the virtual versions, the Synclavier Go on the iPad, the Beast from UVI, they only handle the FM side, and some samples that you can't tweak really. Whereas you need the
did-
regen to do the full-on. I want to sample. I want to do this. I want to do all that kind
Didn't the Arturia in some update allow resynthesis?
Oh, I mean, I haven't kept up with that. Maybe they
Yeah,
did.
maybe I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, got a vague remember of that. Yeah,
Oh,
possibly.
that's good to know.
Because, or the interesting thing of Origin is having free synthesis and being able to do FM with samples and then the
Yeah.
frame stuff, which is just crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a bit of an investment though, isn't it? It's not exactly pocket change, is it?
The guy was
No.
basically saying that Kraftwerk the Mix album was like all Synclavier whack, just tweaking all their shit.
Oh,
as
there.
remixes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you heard some weird ass stuff on there. That's Synclavier.
I think that was the first album I heard properly. No, that's the first Kraftwerk album that I actually bought. I heard Autobahn years ago, obviously,
Sure.
but that's the one I actually purchased.
No, I feel sorry for you.
It's all right.
You didn't hear Radioactivity? I love that album.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah,
I mean, obviously Depeche Mode heard that and copied a lot of their stuff. The early Depeche Mode.
yeah. Depeche Mode seemed to be copying sort of Kraftwerk in a bit of a new order, and
Yeah.
made their own sort of way. I mean, they've got their own.
Definitely Radioactivity. Listen to that album and you go, oh, because I haven't had a friend who didn't know anything about Kraftwerk except the real hot pop hits, and he's a super Depeche Mode fan. And I go, check this out. Holy
Particularly
shit.
with this sort of Black Celebration stuff where you have all this dark stuff on Radioactive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's not that dark on Radioactivity, it's just, with very mellow and slow things.
Right.
But I know, Kraftwerk just has too many. First, them two being quite big assholes, or just upper class wankers who are unaware how upper class they are.
Well, I read their biography a while back. This little small biography paperback thing, and it was funny because the interviewer was just talking to them. He says, at this moment they just fired off a show in some other city using their doppelgangers, and they're not even there. They're riding their bikes to the Alps or whatever. They're doing the doppelgangers doing the show for them, which is hilarious. You know.
Wow. Yeah. There you go. A bit like ABBA doing the.
Because all they do is just stand there robotically anyway. So you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, would you? Yeah.
Not that different.
I mean, yeah.
Talk about phoning it in, literally, almost, isn't it?
Well, especially the one with the iPads and stuff. What they're doing there, like they're guys.
Yeah.
Look at his email or whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I mean, the whole thing nowadays is just one new endo instance running the playback, and then some live tracks being played over it. It's just not the most exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think
So,
they
like
would.
so at most you have like 2 or 3 melody lines played over just the complete backings. And then the complete backings are the sort of early 2000s era still, or they still sound that way. Just like, as much as I like it for its time, the Tour de France album, just give me the very clear and raw sound of Trans Europa Express. It's just far more interesting than this weird sort of honky, shitty early VST sound, which models, even nowadays, they still have.
Mm.
By the way, I got this morning. So I don't know if this will show up on camera, but we had apparently a minor earthquake nearby this morning. But this alert is very funny if you can read this text.
No,
Let's see.
all I can see is reflection.
Oh, hold on,
Is
it
it
went to
gonna-
black. Hold on.
Screensaver mode.
Where is it? My alert. Oh no!
I
it
think
might
it
have
looks
gone away.
stinky. I've not seen her in chat for
There it
ages.
is.
She's probably fell asleep.
Check this out. Can you read that?
God, I can't see that.
Yeah, it's not focusing right. This damn laptop camera. It basically says, "Emergency alert! Earthquake detected. Drop cover. Hold on. Protect yourself. USGS shake alert."
Well, that wasn't it. Yeah.
That's a little dramatic because if I didn't even feel it, come on, it's
Yeah.
I live here, it's not a big deal. Some people freak out when they first have an earthquake, but most of the time they're just minor tremors. It's nothing.
What's far more fun if you rather than be shaking, you have the weird sort of scratching noises and just shearing noises. Like that's a lot in Switzerland, where it's just like middle of the night. What is this weird low frequency rumbling,
Oh
shearing?
yeah, sure. But the
That's
crazy
just-
shit is when you see the big ones. Like we had that Loma Prieta earthquake in '89, and I was at work at the time, and I watched the asphalt in the parking lot ripple like waves,
Wow.
literally ripple, and the light posts are doing this, and then it went back. You know, so asphalt's so elastic, it just popped back down. It didn't break. And then my mom said at home, our pool was like doing this slosh in the water. Like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. We lost like several feet of water out of the pool from all the sloshing.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a serious one. That's why the bridge fucking fell apart. And,
Oh, that was those double-decker bridges, wasn't it?
yeah, the old
Yeah,
old structures
yeah.
like the one called Cypress
Stupid
structure
idea.
collapsed, and
Yeah.
the Bay Bridge had that section that fell out, and people were driving just didn't notice it. That guy go down. It's like, slow down, dude. Yeah,
Shit.
you can't see the gap. There's a gap there.
Yeah, not good.
And yeah,
It
it was kind
happens.
of crazy. Or he thought he could jump it. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's not. Shit. What was that fucking program? Can't remember. 70s TV show with the car that did all the jumping.
Oh,
Boss Hog and all that lot. What was that? What's
yeah,
that?
the Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the
not
General
Dukes
Lee.
of Hazzard. Yeah. 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 With Daisy in her legs. Yeah. Bless her.
Daisy Dukes. Yeah, that's what
Daisy
Dukes
Duke.
looks like. Yeah, the cut off
Anyway.
shorts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bugger off and go to bed.
All right. You
All
take
right,
care.
Good to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Catch you another day. I'll try and get your name right next time. I mean, don't. I'm not promising, but I'll give it a go.
I mean, just don't get it right. Just go for something completely wrong.
All right. Yeah. All right.
We need to
Because,
print a field guide to all the people that show up. You can just put next to your monitor.
Yeah.
To-
Hints. Hints
Yeah,
what their name is.
in their natural habitats.
You use a name to real name question mark?
Yeah.
Or is it just an alias? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe my real name is Richard, and I feel very upset that somebody found out.
Well, yeah, could be.
Wow.
Is that? Oh, that's
You
a
can always
your
change
OnlyFan
it
name,
to
isn't
go
it?
off
Your
so
OnlyFan name is
far right.
Richard. So,
No, the OnlyFans name is Easel Weasel.
Weasel.
And we won't ask where the weasel goes. So.
Pop goes the weasel.
Anyway, on that note,
I know. Sayonara.
Yeah.
Classic.
So check this out. Literally, it's the second time I've ever turned this thing on. So it has a little preset section in the middle. You see 15 there, upside down. And so I'm on a preset now that has a synth, like a synth-based thing. Is that loud or not loud?
That's okay. I can hear it.
Turn it up a little bit here.
It's not Gaz Williams loud like we had today.
Yeah, he
Maybe.
was super loud earlier.
Yeah.
So this is a synth bass. Use the whammy bar. There's all kinds of weird sounds on this thing.
Is that guitar thing?
Easy EG, yeah.
Right.
I'm not even fretting, I'm just hitting the strings.
Yeah.
Banjo.
Sounds like, you can say it sounds like a banjo.
Shamisen.
Koto type of thing. Japanese
It's
name.
a shamisen. It's a Japanese banjo.
Yeah. Okay.
Piano. And then back to 1, which is the basic guitar. And there's 3 is a 12 string.
I'm right, mate.
Not bad. One problem is it doesn't do proper hammer-on pull-offs. I don't know if you play guitar much, but
I own a guitar. I wouldn't call myself a guitarist, but yeah.
you do, yeah. So I used to practice a long time ago, but never got very good. And then, so I learned some of the basic techniques, hammer-on pull-offs, all that shit. But this won't do. Actually, it does hammer-on. A little bit. Doesn't do pull off properly though. So it's not really a proper guitar in that respect. You're just hitting buttons. But for learning fret positions and stuff, and as a MIDI controller, it's probably pretty fun. But it's not, definitely not a, because Eddie was mad about this when I showed it to him. He goes, "Oh, that piece of shit." I was hoping Eddie would be here so we could talk shit about it. But fingering stinks. But it's definitely like a general MIDI kind of a sound. It's not a proper, not a high quality guitar by any means.
Most people wouldn't fucking know that, would they?
It's
To be
true.
fair.
But I mean, if you play with like the sound canvas and stuff, you get used to some of those sounds quite quick. Or the what do you call them? What's that little pocket box? It is
QI?
QI70, QI100.
Yeah.
So I have a
Yeah.
QI100 I like a lot,
Right.
but you can actually do a whole track on it. and
I
stuff.
remember the QI tanker in it. It looked like a VHS tape, didn't it? It's
A
tiny.
little thing, yeah. I have the 20 because I found back when I was buying all weird stuff on eBay because it was just there and it was cheap. Novation used to make controllers before they made synths, and they made this, or one of the side businesses of making synths as well. I forgot the timing, but they made this dock for the QI20. You dock the QI20 into it, and now you play the keyboard to control the QI20.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
so it came with
Yeah.
a bag and everything, so you can put them
Yeah.
all as a package and just carry them around.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Synth with MIDI guitar mode. Yeah.
It's when Yamaha used to be inventive and do weird and wacky things.
Yeah, it's just because like Dave Smith, his start was doing accessories and add-ons for stuff. He wasn't doing synths. He was doing
Yeah.
add-ons for Moog and Oberheim and some other stuff until he finally started making his own shit.
Mm.
So yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere.
Very true.
But it's kind of fun. I picked this up just kind of. There's also an MG. This is Easy EG. This is Easy MG, which is a slightly different body style. I don't know if the sounds are different on it or not, but it's just kind of a impulse buy. I mean, it's got a plastic neck on it, which flexes a hell of a lot. They put a metal bar behind it, but it still doesn't hold it that stiff.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to be careful with it. You can't like throw it around and like manhandle it. Otherwise, it will not be a happy camper. But yeah, just fun shit to play with. Eddie wanted to know about it more, so I wanted to pull it out and get it to work again. It's literally it's like maybe the third time I ever turned it on. But yeah, with that one. What have you been working on lately?
Me getting well. I haven't done any music
Sick,
for
yeah.
this is like second week, so yeah, it's been rubbish. I was doing some vocals, then I got ill, and then Inky said I sounded like Barry Manilow. So vocal.
Good time to record.
Oh well, yeah, maybe, but I was just coughing too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'll get back to it, but yeah, a couple of weeks off. Other than that, I'll be fine there.
Check out. Speaking of that, I might as well go through a couple more of these weird presets because I have it on. So. Choo, choo, choo. It's like a robot shutting down.
This is Voice Live too, yeah.
Voice Live 2, yeah. This is called Echo Down.
Oh yeah, what was the preset called for the bloke to girl thing? My mate's got one of them. I want to have a go on it.
Octave Child.
Octave Child. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, Octave Child.
All right, cool.
And I dialed it in a little bit more on a different one. I couldn't find there's like hundreds of presets in here, but I dialed in a special version with slight tweaks so it sounded a little more adult and not so childish.
Yeah,
And I forgot what I called it.
I'll give it a go next time. Because I go around. Well, usually go around once a week. We have a session, but I've never actually dived in on his Voice Live 2. So we'll have a go next time.
This one's weird. It's called In the Sewers.
Yeah, that's about right. So are we going to hear some vocals on one of your next E-Mons then? Is that a possibility now you got a voice live too?
Well, I've had this for a long time. If I actually did any vocals, it would be some abstract,
Right.
either a choral thing or some kind of weird sound effect.
Yeah.
I can carry a tune. I just don't like to sing. So I'm more of a, and I'm also just might listen to. Obviously, rock music has a lot. Rock music has a lot of vocals in it at some point, but so I'm happy with that. But most of the music I make or listen to in general is instrumental.
Right.
So like one of my favorite recordings of Wagner is the Ring series without the opera.
Okay.
The used heavily in John Borman's Excalibur movie.
Oh yeah.
And so I go, that's a great version of that. Where is that? And my dad happened to have it because he's a big classical guy. Kind of got me into classical at a young age. And I go, oh, so cool. So before I could find it anywhere, I just burned a copy of it. So I had it. And then eventually bought my own copy that was more durable.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's all the major excerpts from all the different parts of the opera without the singing. Because the music is just really good on its own. I know the singing is a big part of it, but I've never been a huge opera fan. I like some arias. I like certain things here and there, but
Yeah, I'm not a big opera fan.
like Nessun Dorma is a classic. That sounds cool, but I don't know. I just don't listen to that much opera singing stuff. Let's try a couple other weird ones here. This one's Poltergeist. Poltergeist.
Oh yeah, there's a bit of reverse going on in that, isn't there? Yeah, you got a bit of reverse and a bit of pitch shifting going on there.
This is supposed to be I Am the Walrus vocals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's really thin, like a megaphone,
Yeah.
PA system, whatever. Attention, Kmart shoppers.
Yeah, get out.
Blue Light Special. This one's kind of weird. This guitar with this voice.
Yeah. Crazy.
Or this one's called Flutter. Like a Leslie, kind of.
Yeah. Rotary speed.
Oh, someone's there. Hello. I'm torching everybody.
Hello.
Howdy, hi.
How y'all doing?
All right.
Awesome.
Doing all right. This is a hard tune for a robot voice, like a Cylon.
Yeah. By
This is called Dirty Scream.
That's descriptive. Yeah, that works.
What are you using right now?
Voice Live 2. TC Halicon. Voice Live 2. It's like a
Hardware
big-
or
It's
software?
hardware, yeah. It's a great big metal
It's a
box.
hardware box. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, they make really awesome
This
vocal
one's
stuff.
called Chaos, and it sounds almost like the sound that they used for the chanting in Dark Knight Rises.
I feel undone. Like I need to have some kind of effect going on my voice now.
There we go.
How about
Be like,
something like
be like a
this?
voice off, wouldn't it?
Well, I forget what all my presets were set to. Hello, test 1 2 1 2 1 2. Keep trying to find the really good one. What I do like about this pedal is that it has this tone knob.
What's that
I
then? What have you got?
It's a TC Helicon Voice Tone Create XT.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
This is without the tone knob, and this is with it on. I've got some other effects going on. We can do this. Here we go. So what I like about it is it has a separate tone from the effect itself. So this is with it on, and now this is with it off. I don't know if you can hear a difference right now, but it sounds a lot more dark and muddy to me,
Right.
and this sounds a lot better.
It's similar.
They make great stuff. They really do in terms of like vocal processing. I'm trying to think. There's another cool pedal. Do I have it here? Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there you are.
So this one turns your voice into a. So
Instant kazoo sound.
or kazoo, yeah. Or kazoo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's wacky, that is. I like that. Well, the knob's big enough, do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think they
exactly
are.
right.
Yeah.
If you look at what's on the side, though, you
Wow,
got
yeah,
XLR.
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
And what I like about this is it's a very misunderstood pedal in the first place. It's kind of hard to use. You see what I'm saying? Like you have to have a microphone.
Right.
And I don't know that it really amplifies so much. So it's almost like you have to have a direct box to go with it as well.
Okay.
But once you get everything working out, you've got an effects loop, which is so handy.
So
Chris, here's the one called Octave Child.
You
And
sound a
if you
lot
dial in
younger.
different settings, it could be more like a male to female, or
just a chip.
That's scary, that is.
it's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
That's definitely an OnlyFans effect, isn't it?
Oh God.
Jesus.
Yeah, I've used this on prank calls and freaked people out. So.
That would freak me out. Yeah. That'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
It has minimal artifacts compared to like a VT1 or VT3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Although those are pretty good.
Well, I have a Halloween sound for y'all.
Got it.
I must warn you, I don't know how loud this is going to be.
Okay. Oh, we've got
Actually,
one
before
there.
I'm going to do this real quick. If I can. Yeah, that works. Okay. Pardon me for being upside down. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got the hockey mask.
There you go.
So this is coming from the tracker. Watch out.
Sounds friendly to me.
It's pretty wild.
Oh, wait, there's more. Anyways,
Yeah. That's,
there's really not more.
yeah.
That was it.
That's definitely, isn't it?
This is one of my favorite, the Gregorian, the pitch tracking.
Okay. That's,
Gregorian horror chanting.
yeah.
Yeah.
More chances. Yeah.
So it's a whole bunch of upper, lower, normal. You can do up to eight parts.
On top
Whoa.
of your part. So really
That's
like
pretty
9
cool.
parts. Kind of like you heard the Imogen Heap song Hide and Seek?
Yeah. Yeah. She's brilliant.
She's using a similar one to this. It's like it's a Digitech vocalist or something like that.
Yeah.
And she's running.
Really?
This will do the same thing. You run a MIDI into this, and her entire song is her voice, multiple tracked, different pitches with MIDI only.
Yeah. Did you
She's
see
playing
the
the notes
live? There's a live version out that she did. Is absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
Exactly.
Really fucking good.
And
really good.
it's just clever because it's all her voice is everything. There's no other stuff in there.
Yeah.
And she's just playing it all the MIDI parts live to make her voice go the different notes.
Yeah. She's super talented.
clever.
I mean,
Yeah.
super talented girl.
And not afraid of tech. I mean, those Mimu gloves, I got to try them out at a SIGGRAPH one time
All right.
for about an hour. And once you learn all the gestures and stuff, to turn on the sampling, pan, pitch shift, reverse, all this kind of stuff, it's really powerful. You can see why she wanted to make them for stage use.
Mm.
I think a few of the people have bought them to use who could afford them because they're like 10 grand, you know. But
She played her own drums as well, didn't she, on the album? She played.
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But
Something I
think-
don't understand is how come there aren't any more Squirt Pyramid users out there? There's a handful.
Some use the hot packs instead, the modular one.
Yeah, I looked at that one and I could see why what they're going for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know. I could probably have a good time trying to create music in that, but I don't think people understand what all this Squirt Pyramid can do sometimes.
It's cool. It's like the Torre squid. Have you seen that? That thing's really powerful.
No, it's absolutely nothing like that.
But I mean, it's that thing also does a shitload of stuff too. It's
But I mean, like the score pyramid is a full. I mean, that's all it does is sequencing things.
that's all the squid does too. It's all MIDI. There's no audio.
Oh, I was thinking of the
No, not the sampler, not the Groovebox thing.
no, not
It's
even
just-
that thing. The Dave Smith's Torres is what I thought you were
No,
talking
that's
about.
that's like a almost like a TB kind of thing. This is it's a dumb name. I don't know what they called it, the squid, because Antares in there makes people think of those other units.
How many tracks does it handle?
It's full 16 channel MIDI compatible. Probably does more, but I bought a one of those MIDI through boxes that has like more than 16 ports on it, so I can just run to every piece of gear I want and totally control everything from that one box.
Yeah, this has got 64 tracks.
Yeah, this one has a lot, but I mean, I'm only going to hook up 16 devices at the most anyway. So
Oh, I understand. I
yeah,
mean,
it's just
um,
probably only 8 really, not that many.
I don't know. Like to me, like 16 just isn't enough. I don't think.
For rhythms and stuff. That's
And then,
great. Or if you're doing like
like-
a whole long set, but
Like, and then if I had only 16, I would want like probably more than monosynths, I guess. I don't know, but it really, you talk about like these new kind of things and interfaces and so forth, and it's kind of I mean it's don't I mean we still got many like so much to work with what we've already got. You know what I mean?
oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I almost got a Scorp. Also, the what's the other company that makes the something engine?
Oh, the Entropy.
Entropy. That thing looks cool too.
That one, yeah, that one would be something that I would want to take out live.
Yeah.
That's my only complaint about the Beat Step Pro is that it only has 3 tracks.
Well, you could. I mean, you're doing drums on it too, right? Because you have don't you have 4 if you do drums?
No, I
only
mean
3?
with 2 tracks and drums. I mean just
Oh, so that's what they. Okay, that's so the Key Step Pro that you get 4, and 1 is drums. So they fixed that.
well they fixed that, but I mean it's not the same thing. That's what the Beats. Have you ever used the Beat Step Pro before?
I
It is
haven't,
still
but I barely use that. I use the Key Step all the time. So I
Okay.
was thinking about putting them together. So now I get 7 tracks basically.
I used to do that all the time. I used to use the 2 copacetically together, and they're a little weird in terms of synchronizing.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what the glitches and the hangups was, but like I finally, like
Was
I
there a
basically
firmware
had
for
to.
that? Then they fixed that.
They might have.
There
This
a
was
timing
when
thing,
I
think at one point.
first started doing this. Yeah, like back in 2018. So like the MIDI wouldn't really sync up. So what I would do instead is
Right
like
about
use CV instead, just for just the CV clock, and that would work a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's the Beat Step Pro was just like the most. I mean, everybody's workflow is different,
Right.
But for me, it was. How do I say it? It's like not only can you premeditatively lay down your tracks that you're going to like want to recreate time and time again, but then how you could play with them was just amazing. And I worked around the limitations. I would somebody came up with a term called edge sequencing.
Okay.
What do you think that means? What does that mean to you? Because there is no right or wrong. This is just
I
people trying
can't-
to.
I'm not even sure. I could speculate and be completely wrong. So
Because like to me, yeah, like if I had speculated, I wouldn't have understood what he's talking about. He's talking about when you generate MIDI and then sling it into a device, and then you play it from that device thereafter.
okay. Right.
So-
okay, so you're dumping it in.
Wouldn't have guessed that. No,
How would you guess that?
no, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Oh
Yeah.
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 I don't know that, to me it's like, well, that's a name. I didn't have a term for it at all, so
Might be called banana sequencing. But yeah.
I just call it slinging MIDI.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love. Like once you have, I mean, it's usually pretty easy to do. It's a question of if the device can respond to a certain channel or not. And if it can, then all you do with a generating device is set it to its MIDI out to whatever channel the receiver wants to receive on. And the MIDI clock should just take care of the rest. Some devices are really clever in that you can arm them with a record and then as soon as the generating device starts, as soon as you hit play, everything will just like line up into place perfectly.
What's the
If it
point of it?
doesn't,
Why would you do it?
why?
Yeah.
Um, all kinds of reasons why. I do it all the time. The reason why I do it is because I kind of think of it as I'm the drummer and I'm in a band, so I've got a singer, a guitar player, and a bass player.
Mhm.
So they come to the table with these ideas in the way for them, these theoretical people that don't exist to come to the table with their ideas is for them to be sort of randomly generated. And then, of course, I put on that hat when I choose which randomly generated sequences that I want to use, of course. But then once I do that, it's just a matter of like putting them together, adding the drum parts, adding more stuff on top, changing the chord structure, the whatever it's called. Sorry, just
So you're basically mangling with whatever goes in. You're mangling it to make it different. What it's in there.
Well, I don't mangle it. Like once the MIDI is generated, don't really touch it too much.
Okay.
About all that I do from there is maybe lower it by an octave or raise it up an octave. What's interesting is, I don't think like the Squirt Pyramid is the perfect device by any stretch. It's got a lot of limitations that I'm still trying to figure out if there's any way to actually do what I want to do a better way. But it has this concept of effects. If you think about that for a second, it's just a sequencer. It does transmit CV and gate, but only one channel. If you whatever you want to call it.
Is it doing like pure data stuff where it's doing MIDI effects?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It
Some
has
devices
its
do that.
it has its own concept of what these effects are. So just to give you an idea of like, oh, I see where you're going with this. An arpeggiator is an effect.
Right, exactly.
The
'Cause that's
quantizer.
That's what the Tory Squid does. It has like, it says here it does various
Yes,
speed
but the- but-
modulations, harmonizing,
But the quantizer is also an effect.
yeah, quantizing, transform.
And I don't think that's a great idea. I think like I wish that they had set it up that quantizing would have been it's sort of like its own entity, so to speak, so that it actually moves the note on and note off events. In this particular case, what the effect does is it does it on the fly.
Yeah.
And that's problematic. It works, but something else would be really great is if you could bounce tracks. So if I could like bounce and affect a track, I think you might be able to do this. And where you basically take all of these so-called effects and it just generates all the MIDI events that would go along with that. Instead of doing it on the fly, it just records them to a new track, and then you can just play it back. You can also, and I'm sure like other devices can do this, but it's really cool because you can just take the SD card that you're using to store all this stuff and bring it over to your computer and load the MIDI files, change things, then put them back.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I was looking at it for a while, along with that entropy engine thingy and the couple.
That
other
thing
cool
looks
things.
so cool, right? I mean, everything about the
Or a what's the famous one that Aphex Twin uses all the time? The really weird one. It's built by like a male female couple.
not the Octatrack.
No, it's a real famous sequencer that's bizarre, and
Is it old or new?
it's been around for 20 years, maybe less. Almost nobody uses them because they're complicated, and they're hand built, and they're God, I'm totally drawing a blank on the name of it.
I will not lie. The Squirt Pyramid, its complexity can be overwhelming. It's like you have to have a game plan, kind of going into it, and kind of baby steps, small projects, then kind of build your way up.
Yeah.
You can kind of do like what the Hapax does as well. You can't really like seamlessly load another project, but you can actually stack a couple different projects up. 2 or 3 really, and then like have 2 or 3 different, kind of sets going, or songs going, and have like a little MIDI set going. And then all you need to do, of course, is get a drone going, and then you can load another project while, 'cause the sound's going to drop out when you load a project.
Yeah.
But how's
Circlon,
everybody doing?
That's what it is. The Circlon.
Oh, the Circlon, yes.
Yeah. Expensive and apparently hard to use. So.
There's one more that I'm trying to think of, and it might be the Circlon. It's the one that has the smiley face on the display.
Can't remember.
It does 8 tracks, I think. And it looks really cool too. And of course that retro kit's RK008.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That thing is like, I don't know. I'm not going to get that one. I want
Well, like
to, but
Electron
no.
gear, if you can get your head around Electron gear, because some people hate that. Even as a sequencer, using the MIDI channels and not using the onboard stuff, they're wicked sequencers.
Well, that's what I don't understand. Is like, why should it be any different to learn how to use a workflow on that device than some other device?
Because it has its own paradigm. It doesn't. People don't.
I mean, I just naturally have to reject anything that throws its own paradigm at me. And I mean, think about it. But what I'm saying is,
Circlon does though. So
well, I mean, that's kind of it. You know what I mean? It's does a Scorp pyramid have its own paradigm? I don't think it does. The only thing that maybe it has its own paradigm is what it calls effects. And all you do is just look at what they are. It's like, oh, okay, that's just a feature. There's nothing, like, again, I haven't touched Electron though. Okay, let me back up. I have.
Just like Electron, these guys have a paradigm, and their sequencers are amazing. But again, people go, "Oh, it's just a toy," but not when you really learn it. It's very powerful.
Yeah, but that's not. That's a little different, maybe, because it's just buttons with no real display. So
Well,
you know what you're getting into.
Oh, you can use you can Bluetooth.
Of course you can.
Yes.
Of course you can. But I mean, you don't do that.
Well, Electron, the same thing. You have chordal things you have to make the quick flow. You memorize certain combinations, not that many, but a certain combination of things.
But like, people have to understand. Like, I mean, when I first got into this in 2000, I want to say 18, or no, I think it was the end of, it was 2017. So right around the end of 2017, early 2018, I went to Corner Music when it was on 12th Avenue South in Nashville. And went in there, checked out the stuff. Everything was cool. I walked over. I had never heard of Electron before. Saw this box. I thought it looked pretty cool. I hit the buttons, and I just was like, oh, not for me.
Clacky, yeah.
And I'm not a fan of those encoders either. I don't sit here and I don't want to sit there and do that.
If you push,
I
you
know,
get the
of course.
Yeah.
Same thing over here with the Scorp pyramid. It's got encoders too.
Yeah.
And I hate encoders. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Exactly. Like, I love the analog keys. It's the analog 4 in a keyboard, and just the way they have like a separate MIDI layer, a separate effects layer, and you have complete control like you do over any conditional trigs and all that other kind of stuff over your effects and your MIDI stuff. Even it's nuts.
It's a little too much, right?
Oh,
I'd rather have something that generates rather than I have to premeditatively tweak and plant seeds here, plant seeds there, menu tweak to get to it, that menu tweak to get to it over there.
Like Jim Glue uses tons of Electron stuff, and once you get into it, and that's why a lot of guys, when they get into it, they don't use any other gear because they wrap their head around it. They do entire sets or an entire show, just a couple Electron boxes, and there's so much expression and so much whatever for something that doesn't have expressive keys. When you fiddle enough and you know what you're doing, you can get it. I like the model boxes that came out with the cheaper versions do have expressive velocity pads, which is cool if you want proper drumming experience with velocity pads. But so many people have worked around that with the clacky keys to make pretty insane stuff. So.
Sure. I think my only point is that when like, again, going back to something that presents itself with a paradigm that's like, okay, this is a learning curve.
Yeah.
and I'm going to have to approach it. So I'll look for alternatives first.
Yeah.
And I've never needed to use Electron ever.
Yeah, you don't need to, but I just like the like even on the teenage engineering stuff, the mathematical functions you can apply to the sequencing and stuff. That's very unique. That and Electron are the two only things I've ever seen. Maybe Scorp does as well, but
It's got Euclidean.
I mean
As
more
well.
than that. It's like it's not just basic Euclidean. It's like algebraic functions and some other weird stuff you don't expect to see on a sequencer. So you can quickly dial in different rules, and the sequence changes on the fly to match that, and then you go back to your other settings.
Mark's got the TT78. You don't have any Cyclone analogic gear, do you?
I don't.
Their TT303 is my favorite TB303 clone, and for many reasons, but it has this sequencer in it. It's a hook maker. It's like, why do you need to do anything? All you need are hooks.
So it's easier to use than the standard TB sequencer.
Oh, it's not even. I mean that's one of its more minor features.
Yeah.
Is that it's ease of use in terms of I mean you get the clock going and you play what you want to play and it saves it as a sequence. It's like, wow, why can't the TB303 ever have done that too? If you want the old style sequencing, programming, that's programming.
The TB303 came out in 1981, so its design style is like
Oh yeah,
It's
years
ancient.
old.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I know.
so
I get it. I get it.
it was cutting edge and different back then, and now it's just really different and really old.
It actually was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But the problem is that no musician is going to want to do that. No, I mean, really, most musicians are not going to want to do that.
I mean,
if you
people are
just-
into acid.
no-
have
no
already
bass
learned it,
player.
So it's not hard. So if you're already into that thing, it's
No bass player is ever capable of doing that.
No, but
That's
if you're,
why it
if you're
failed.
into acid,
Sorry.
you'd like the authentic way of doing it, wouldn't you? I suppose. So
That's why it was
sorry,
a
that
dead
was-
product until the acid people discovered it. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, look at this thing can do. Because no
Yeah.
one bought it as an accompaniment thing.
No.
No, and you know what's funny is that it actually can sound. It actually can have a really nice bass guitar tone to it.
Well, it's like, I think Let the Music Play by Shannon. That's like a regular dance track. That has it in it, right? And it just sounds like a bass. So not everyone's doing acid with them.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like to call non-acid jams with the
Yeah.
TB303 alkaline.
There you go. Or neutral.
Sure, but
pH
why
7.
not push the other direction? Use the square wave and don't use distortion.
Right.
And use like chorus instead. Delay is always helpful with that thing. It's just begging to be run through a delay.
Totally.
But the TT303 though, like it generates sequences that are bona fide hooks.
I never heard that about it. I've only seen them. I'm sure I watched demos on them, but I don't know much about them other than that they're trying to go for that look and feel of the.
The problem is how can you identify the right random sequence that you generated, and then I guess on top of that, what do you do to generate more sequences that are going to melodically or harmonically fit with it?
I've got to duck
Rhythm-
out. Inky wants to chat to me for some reason. So
All right.
catch
I
you
wish
guys in
Inky
a bit.
could
Yeah.
join us.
Come by. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the TB3, the touch bass that they made, which has
That
three
was-
three things.
Yeah.
And all those extra sounds in there. And as I was saying in another show, it's amazing brain. You hook a keyboard to it, and you can do all kinds of other shit with it that people didn't think about when they just bought it as a box to fiddle. It has built-in effects. It has built-in distortion. It has kind of gives you everything in one. You just have to. The one obvious flaw from using it is they didn't make it easy to tweak the presets with what effects on the fly. So you unfortunately have to use a computer to preset all of your presets. I want distortion on this one. I want delay on this one. I want this and that, because they didn't make it easy in the natural interface. to
Yeah,
do
okay,
that,
I was
which is
wondering
kinda
about
dumb.
that.
It's kind of
Well,
a misstep.
it when you know how Roland programs their stuff,
Yeah.
it's like that the whole thing is a layer. So
Right.
that layer includes all the effects too, and that's just the way that it is. And they have like,
But with the LED screen, they easily, because on SP404 you can do lots of stuff, and it gives you feedback on what you're doing. They could easily have had it do that and scroll across. So you know what it is.
yeah, that I don't know. Like that could have been a disconnect between the display team, for example.
Totally. Yeah. It's so luckily there are third-party programs you can use to hook it up and tweak your presets,
Oh.
dump it back, and
It's a third-party program. I
I
see.
think it's third-party. I don't think they made it themselves.
Because I was gonna say, it's like with Roland's probably thinking, well, we're lucky that we gave you a way to do it.
Probably. I mean, it's typical. Like, hey, it is what it is. Leave it, use it or don't use it. Typical Roland, right?
The what I found about the Roland manuals is that a lot of times I just want to do something.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, how do I set the MIDI channels on this thing, right? And Roland is like, oh, okay, you want to set the MIDI channel? Great. Step 1, go to main screen. Step 2, press menu. Step 3, and it's just like everything. You're like, no. I just where is it? Just tell me where it is.
Well, and the later products, so they just have the fanfold paper that you have to hold like a map.
Oh, that's yeah.
And it's like, all right,
There's
geez, thanks,
almost.
guys. That's
Yeah, at that point, I just use a PDF.
yeah. But even the PDF, we had to scroll around endlessly to find this massive. The map
yeah.
is the PDF.
It's the same thing. I know it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Squirt Pyramid manual is great and awful at the same time.
Yeah.
It's kind of poorly organized, even though it's all logically laid out. It's set up in such a way that you've got to read through everything,
Oh yeah.
and then go back and read through it again, and then go back and read through it again.
The best
It's
manuals
just-
I ever read were Emu and Sonic. They were funny, they were clever, they were interesting, and they were readable.
This is readable, but it's translated from French,
Oh right.
so there's a little grammatical kind of quirks.
Sure.
They're here and there.
Even the
It's
Roland
chock
manuals have
full.
that once in a while. There's English in there, So
Oh no, yeah, it's not like that. It's just kind of
One guy swore up
frustrating.
and down at Guitar Center. One of the guys that worked in the pro department told me one time. He swore up and down at one point he saw a Roland service manual that was talking about screws, and it said you have to fuck and unfuck. And I thought that was great because that's the translation, right?
That's hilarious.
Alternative translation.
It's a little too literal there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing now is I just use the PDFs and I search for what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And usually I can just kind of like get to it because what you find with the Squirt Pyramid manual is that what you need is here, 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 and here.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
What I do, especially like the SP404, which has a lot of the original one, not the new one, had a lot of esoteric functions and weird like hold this button, do this, because every button does multiple functions. So just to get a basic workflow of how to sample, how to truncate, how to save it, how to do this, how to do that, how to reply to a different pad. It was like a lot of steps, and it was just like, oh, this is a headache, right? So I went through the manual one by one, and I just started just like other stuff. I started making cheat sheets.
Yeah,
And-
I do that too. Yeah.
And just have a whole stack of cheat sheets for every device I have. And whenever I pick it up, I go, oh, let's go to the cheat sheet. Screw the manual. This is all I need, unless it's a new feature that I haven't used.
I mean,
And that helps a lot.
for what it's worth, I have no problem reading manuals.
No, I do too. I mean,
yeah,
I actually like
enjoy
reading
it,
manuals because I learn stuff that I'll never find any other way.
Exactly.
Some people, I hate the manual. If I have to read the manual, the thing sucks. I'm like, no, there's a lot of complexity. No matter how many years you've been doing this, at some point you got to read the fucking manual or something because it's gonna throw something in there you will miss, either a secret feature for power users or just something that's not obvious that you may not need. But man, if you found it, you'd be happy to find it. So even though I know a device after using it for a while, I'll read the manuals at some point just because I'm curious. What did I miss?
Well, it's definitely necessary for menu diving.
Yeah, that too.
There's no way to really Well, no, there is. You just keep using it until But you can speed up that process so much by getting a visual picture.
Well, it's like when I was in
Roland,
college, I had copies of all the software. Guys kept giving me all this shit. So I had Photoshop and Premiere, After Effects, all this kind of stuff. I figured out quite a bit of them without any damn manual whatsoever because I just had a copy of the software. Eventually, I bought like one of those Bible, like Macintosh Photoshop Bible books or something like that. And then you get the master class on how to use it because the Adobe manuals are horrible. They're
wait,
atrocious.
which ones are?
Adobe Photoshop and Premiere, all those manuals are terrible.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh,
you
yeah.
got the third-party ones, like this guy Deke McClelland, and a few other guys out there who wrote these manuals. They're awesome books.
No, yeah.
manuals.
You get into areas like that, and there's a whole revenue stream for training people.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna help you.
Because a lot of the Adobe ones, it's classroom in a book. Let's do a project. I don't want to do that project. I don't want to do
Yeah.
the thing you're doing. I want to learn how to use the tool, not how because some people need that step through. Like, let's do a project, and you will learn something.
Well, that's how I found Roland's manuals kind of tended to be until they,
Exactly.
it's like this much information, but spread out this
Spread
huge map. Pick your language. I love it.
Yeah. So
And Korg,
so I
same
have,
thing.
So I have PDFs of everything, but I also like to occasionally just sit here with some hardware and a manual. So at previous companies I worked at over the years, I printed out all the fucking manuals I had. So I just like,
Big binders.
just their binder clips.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
They store better. They're soft and they store better. Just throw them in a box or whatever. So I had literally just stacks and stacks and stacks of manuals for everything I ever bought used, or knew that I just didn't know where the manual was or something like that. And so I have the hard manuals if I ever want to go through it, and that's what I would use to go do a cheat sheet. Just put them side by side with the thing, and I have little either sticky notes if they're short enough cheat sheets
Can't
or
see any of my cheat sheets here. Yeah. I've got a cheat sheet under the TT303 because it has when you generate sequences,
Mhm.
it has 9 different personalities is what it calls
Yeah.
it, and yeah, it can.
You need that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing, though. I don't know if you think about this much. The trap that I get into with this style of sequencing is everything is one measure.
Mhm.
1 bar, 8 beats. Well, no, 2 bars, we'll say. But it's really just one measure, though.
Yeah.
So what's nice to do sometimes is like have something play and then just stop. So like 1 measure of playing, 3 measures of rest.
Yeah.
And I can do that easily with the pyramid by just having any given track and changing its length from 1 bar to 4 bars.
Mhm.
What I can't do is move that 1 bar to the very end, if that makes sense.
Can you also do odd time signatures, or is it locked?
Oh yeah. Oh, it does. Oh yeah. It not only does on time signatures, it will allow you to go back and forth between polymeters and polyrhythms.
Because the Kai Force, until very recently, didn't even let you do anything but 4/4 unless you approach it from a different way to fake it.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
Whereas
Yeah,
like the Machina Plus and other things, you can just go 3/4, 4/4, 5/4, whatever. You can do different
Yeah,
things.
this-
7/8, whatever. But
this
some
can
of these things
do-
are so designed around hip hop and basic pop production. It's fucking 4/4 all the time.
So the only 4/4 that I have only is the Korg EA1.
Yeah.
And I think the ER1 too. I'm not sure about the ER1, but the EA1,
Probably
it's
all the same. I have all right here, but
yeah, the old Electribe.
yeah.
It's like, I mean, you can kind of do 6/8, but you can't do 5/4. You can't do 7.
Right.
The Volcas, what they did is they have the Korg has a concept called active step.
Yeah.
And that's how you achieve odd time signatures.
Sure.
You just remove the last active steps, and you've got however many counts you need.
Yeah.
Uh,
There are
the
people
score-
that tell you how to do that online if you don't know how to do it. That just make it this long and make it this tempo and like like you said, take the steps out, and so there are workarounds
So-
for this shit.
Yeah, I've got one of my first Januaries that I did. I took the pocket operators,
Mm.
and I did the math to have them doing 4, 5, and 7
Mhm.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So Think about that for a second. I was a motherfucker, man. Are you kidding me?
I'll bet. Yeah.
Because what I had to do is it's not just get the tempo right, but for the 5, you've got to have 5 patterns.
Yeah.
It took me 30 minutes to get that
Yeah, I believe
programmed. And then the 7, now you've got to have 7 patterns.
Yeah.
And I mean, I literally had, it was not fun.
Which ones are you using?
If I had to guess, it was the drum. I'm sorry, the rhythm, the office,
Rhythm, the office. You have the sub.
and I think the robot.
Robot. Yeah, robot's good.
Well, because I was trying to get as many drum sounds as I could for this.
Arcade is fun too. I like the arcade one.
Yeah. So what I love about the arcade, it's a drum machine.
Yeah.
It's a groove box.
Mhm.
It's actually a groove box. It's technically a groove box, and the whole thing you program it like a drum machine. It's not like the sub or the robot or the factory. It's like the rhythm.
All the later ones are kind of drum-like, like all the sampling ones.
Oh yeah,
Very
definitely.
drum-like. Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course the tonic. Do you have the tonic?
I do, and I also have the
Microtonic?
The software to program it. Yeah.
Cool. I don't have that, but it's
It does like little modem
I'll
tones
live.
over the speaker to program it.
yeah. There's a Control Random is a channel here on YouTube if you haven't found them yet.
Yeah.
They
no,
do PO33 and PO32 patches
Oh, nice.
or sample packs or whatever you call them.
That's
Sample
cool.
packs for the samplers, other things for the tonic.
Yeah, there's
See,
a whole
it's like-
community of guys doing like OP1 packs and, like you said, pocket operator packs.
Control Random's got a really nice 808 909. The test they came from his own personal 808 909 machine. So
Wow.
he's I don't you know about this, right? Like I can't make sample packs for my Roland TR08 TR09 and sell them.
I guess you can't now, but for a while they didn't care, right?
I have no idea how it is now. I just know at one
Because-
point I remember seeing that.
Because it's kind of like Rebirth was around for a long time,
Mhm.
and it was all their shit that they recreated as boutiques. Well,
Mhm.
funny, just before they released the boutiques, they said cease and desist to Propellerhead and said get rid of
Wow.
Rebirth. We don't care. We don't care. It can't be on iOS. It can't be on desktop. It can't be anywhere. So
Wow.
the crack version's forever on Windows and Mac, right? You can find that anywhere. The iOS version, unfortunately, got pulled out of the store. So you have to jailbreak your thing to put it back on there. I still have it on one of my iPads, but the iPad I use the most, I had to reset and I lost. It's no longer in the store. I can't get it. So that was a bummer because it was an amazing iPad app because it was just the right size. On the phone, it's very small, but on the iPad, it was just perfectly usable as an on-the-go double 303 808 909 stack.
I'm glad you enjoy doing that because I have to have knobs and sliders.
I mean, it was not my favorite thing to use. I
Mhm.
mostly just played other people's stuff and tweaked it. But yeah, it was just
That's
it was
awesome.
it was very clever, and because I'm not an acid guy really, I don't listen to a lot of acid music. I don't really make acid music. I've done it for hardware jams and some other stuff when they want an acid thing. I'll take a stab at it, but I'm not really good at it because it's not my thing. I can appreciate some of it, but it's often too samey for me. People get all excited about the 303 going through some filter. I'm like, I've heard that a million times. I'm not that thrilled by it because it's mostly just patterns, filter sweep, turn some distortion on, tweak some delays, lather, rinse, repeat.
True.
And
Having said that, though, using those same patterns, if I may, minus, of course, let me get a little drums in here. Sorry, minus the scary, spooky voice. Does that sound like acid?
no, and that's what I'm saying. The boxes are totally capable of, like I was saying, that all that dance music and stuff was using it, and pop music was using it. In fact, I think it's a Whitney Houston song that uses a 303, and there's a few other kind of random tracks that have just had 303 on it.
Don't
and
get me
it doesn't
wrong.
have to be acid.
I'm going to put 303 in on this too, just because what I do, I can't help it.
Well, sure,
What
yeah,
happened to me
yeah.
is I didn't discover the TB 303 until 2018
Oh, okay.
when 303 Day rolled around for that year,
Right.
and I was like, oh, what's this? Because I remember going to Corner Music, and I wanted to buy either the Volca bass or the Roland TB03 because I just wanted a bass synthesizer.
Yeah.
I'm like, I figured, oh yeah, any synthesizer can play bass notes, but I want something that has more of a growl to it or something.
Yeah.
So I went in
Analog
and asked the
circuit,
sales,
yeah.
what's that?
Analog circuit, right?
I mean, no, not even that. Just a
even that?
dedicated bass synthesizer. You know, honestly, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew about Taurus pedals because of the band Rush.
Right.
It's like listed in the gear notes on like all their '70s albums.
Right.
So I knew about Taurus pedals, but I didn't know that that was potentially a thing that I could buy with the Moog Minotaur.
That's hard too because you got to play with your feet.
Well, the Moog Minotaur, just MIDI.
No, that, but I mean the original with the pedals.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I was not looking for that. No, but
Yeah,
for me, I mean, like that is the sound that I was going for when I wanted to get my bass synthesizer.
Right.
I just didn't really at that time associate everything. I don't even think I had this time associated the JX03 with the JX3P.
Yeah.
The JX3P was the first synthesizer I ever used.
Okay.
And I was like, hey man, quick aside. I was like, wow, what is that synthesizer, man? Yeah, well, what is that? I know it was a Roland. What was that thing? Huh.
It's very colorful.
Like weeks go by, days go by, weeks go by, right? Next thing I know, I just ended up buying the JX03. I don't know why I did.
It's fun.
And then I figured out, oh, this is the JX. I mean, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
It was
The
this
cool thing about
weird,
that is they added all the knobbage that the
yeah,
PT200 added to it. So
which I never had that either. All I had when I was using it, it was my roommates in college at the time. And later we formed a band together. But, he just had the regular plain Jane, so we just used the presets.
and some of those presets were like organ, trumpet. That kind
Oh
of
yeah,
violin.
just the cheesiest. Like it's the crappiest Juno out there.
It wasn't
in a
until the
way.
JX8P where they had some more cool stuff in there, like vocal bits.
Well, that's the thing though, is that when you get into that third bank, it does start having the weird, like jet taking off sounds.
Yeah.
The weird kind of LFO kind of stuff.
Cassie was doing the same thing with the CZ1 and all that. Yeah.
But for this bass synth, so I walk into Corner Music and ask the sales rep, what do you think I should get? Do you think I should get the Korg Volca bass or should I get the Roland TB03? And he's a bass player. And so he's just kind of looking at it. He's like, well, I think the Roland sounds better.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, the Roland sounds better. It's twice as much.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm just gonna get the Korg Volca bass. It's the cheaper choice.
Sure.
And then time goes on, and then 303 Day rolls around, and then of course everybody starts, touting the TB303 with their jams and everything, and I'm like, oh, so I become educated on what this is, and true story, that's when I discovered that's my favorite synthesizer sound. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's the sound in Orbital and Eat Static and all these other bands that were like, I was like, oh, what is that? What's that right there? That sound. What is it? I want that sound. Before I ever even got into this.
Right.
So that's just why I'm such an acid head. Sorry.
No, I mean, I appreciate it. I just have heard so much of it over the years, and so much of it sounds the same to me at this point. I like it when somebody makes something that makes me think of.
It's a lot of the music that I listen to. What I like about it is it's a lot of this stuff is done after the fact. They know that what it is, so they generally try to introduce it subtly. They try to sneak it in on you.
Yeah,
and that's what I really love about this stuff. So that's what I kind of try to do sometimes. Is like I try to hold off and don't bring it in until halfway through the jam or something.
Yeah, if it's brought in as an accent or as a certain track that it does its thing and then it goes on to something else. That's fine. But some people do entire sets of just acid ostinatos on a TB303 type device with the same kind of filter sweeps, the same kind of.
They had better be masters then at what they're doing.
That's what I mean. And most people aren't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they shouldn't do it because they're all levels out there doing stuff. But I end up hearing the same old stuff over and over. Let me show you this. You've probably seen this already. But, do you use Brambos apps at all on the iPad or iPhone? You know what Brambos is?
Well, speaking of all of that, I'm actually doing something interesting right now. I'm trying to film myself creating like a track. So there's this sort of like a rhythm that I'm trying to get into, to where I'm trying to produce at least like one track a month that has a lot of attention put into it.
Yeah.
Where it's, there could be a few mistakes here and there. There can be a little bit of fat to trim out later. But for the most part, it's a very concentrated, effort. And I'm fixing to stream right now. So this is all kind of part of the process. I've got, I don't know, about 5 or 6 synthesizer tracks set up, about 5 drum machines going over here, and some noisemakers. That awful sample that you heard, which by the way is from Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part?
The part where he's at the very beginning, and they're playing the show, and he stops. Is somebody out there not having a good time? There's all that
Okay.
feedback, and the crowd is roaring, and it's basically it's just being played backwards at where its pitch is shifted down because of the MIDI note that's hitting it. It's a lower MIDI note, and then on top of that, I'm running that through a bass an octave pitch.
Yep, that's where they got the saying, "Wherever you go, there you are."
Yep, and good on you if you can find the jams where I've used those samples.
Tell me if this is too loud. Can you hear this?
It was like Knight Rider.
Is that okay? Too loud or not loud enough?
That's perfect.
So this is Troublemaker. I should have another camera set up, but I don't have it right now. So you can kind of see it's got the graphs, and you can set all your accents and all that stuff with curves. And really easy to touch all the knobs here, so you can. Turn the delay on. Accents, tweak the LFO, change the LFO wave, way more than the 303 can do. The feedback. And what's fun is here, you can drag points around. You can add accent slides and various curves and stuff. And then you have these tools to flip the entire sequence. You step it over one, step it back, flip it. Flip it back, flip it again. And then turn it the other way around. So like up and down, a little transposing. And what's fun is you can go to randomize based on a pattern, a scale, a note, and you can generate it, or you can do variations. I just did variation and it jumps around. So that's Troublemaker, and that's just scratching the surface.
Thanks, but no thanks.
It's the ultimate, but it's the ultimate 303 you can get, because there's way.
No, it's not. My
way more
303 is the
control.
ultimate 303 you can get.
Well, what is it?
The
What's the hardware?
TT303.
It can't do all that though.
It can do most of that, and what it can't do, the Squirt Pyramid can do the other features, and
I
what
get it,
that
but
can't do.
To have
Well,
one interface that does all that is pretty cool because it's got effects, it's got distortion, it's got.
I mean,
you know.
for some people, that's pretty cool. Oh, did I lose? Oh well,
I mean, I'm just saying, if you like acidy stuff,
there it is.
it's a good start for people who want to get like.
Oh no,
access
fair
to
enough.
understand
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, fair
Like I
enough.
said,
but
I'm not
I mean,
a real acid fan, so I barely use the app. But for someone who knows their shit, you could do an entire DJ set with that thing and just blow people away.
can't really see over here what you need. Just go nuts sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, there are all kinds of fun things out there. It's just that I thought that was
see, like-
clever because you can do lots of stuff on the fly that, like if you hook your pyramid to it, then you have a lot more power. But no 303 box I've seen, except maybe the TB3, because it has the touch features and the different layers. Can you do that much without adding a bunch of extra hardware to it?
Fair enough. But to me, I don't want an all-in-one solution.
I know, but some people do. So if you're like,
I
if you're a
mean-
mobile DJ and you don't want to carry a bunch of shit with you, you could have a couple iPads, and I know it's not knobs, but
and
because
fair
you have
enough, and you'll
multi-touch, you can.
probably make money at the gig that you're going to.
Yeah.
It just seems like things are getting easier and easier and easier to do things that were harder and harder to generate.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what the fuck's the point?
Well, because if you like the music, you like the music. Who cares how it's made?
But I don't like the music generally.
I don't either. That's
makes
what I'm
it-
saying. I'm not. That's why I'm not an expert in that tool, because even when an acid
No,
jam
well, I
comes
mean,
up,
not. No, I'm
hardware
talking about
jam comes
any.
up, I don't
Any.
like to make it.
I'm
So,
talking about any genre, though. I'm talking about a lot of people want to keep using these tools to simplify things and to make things easier and easier and easier to do. And what I find is that when I take the little kind of harder path, I find things that are brand new, truly kind of brand new.
Well, that's why I use loopers, or I use unquantized sequencing on like my Machina Plus, because I want to actually play the stuff. I don't want a robot to play it for me. I want to be playing it. I want to be creative.
A robot can play it for me. That's okay too. It's
I know, but
hard to explain,
I'd much rather be doing it myself if I have the aptitude and I have the time to do it.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So our arpeggiator obviously is a generator. It's not me playing it, but I'm at least choosing the notes, and I'm choosing when to bring them in and how much delay to add, and a little bit of manual intervention in there to make it me. But I am using a crutch because it's some people. I've seen people play live arpeggios with their hands, and it's fucking amazing. I'm just not that good. So I need.
I
to
could
have
play
a generator.
I could play any arpeggio. I can't move to another one though.
That's what I mean. It's like to really play it and jump around and
No, I can't do
and
that.
nail it. Not most people can't
No.
do that. But when you see somebody who can do that, you're
You
like,
know-
holy shit.
Well, sure, but I mean they've been doing it their whole lives, of course.
Oh, some
And
are just savants. Some just pick it up really
took-
quick, and just.
Who cares? The
Yeah.
people that I care about are the ones who actually put in the time and the effort and the hard work.
But at the end of the day, I only care about the output. I mean, I like making my stuff manually, but I know a lot of people don't care about that, so I don't make a big deal out of that so much. It just makes me happy to be making it.
Well, sure. I
But
mean
the
that's
output
just it,
really is
right?
what
It's
matters the most, so
it's like what I'm trying to do is just produce this content. I don't even really know what it is myself. So I mean, like I said, like now, like sort of these jams that I'm sort of like focusing on one per month. I am trying to put more effort into it, but like
Yeah.
people who know me from maybe from a year or two ago knew that I was like way more or way less discerning in terms of what I was uploading.
sure.
I was
Say
doing
Paul-
way
Paul's
crazy
taking
experimental stuff, and I still will. It's just kind of like, I already did that though.
Yeah.
It's like how much after a while you're like, well, I've already done all that, so I could keep doing that and do more of the same. But
Yeah, I try to do something different every week for these hardware jams.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah. Well, that's
it
what I like about
stretches
hardware
you
jams.
and it makes you try different things, and sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's fun, and sometimes it's just
Well, that's the
You know.
see. That's the cool part is when you know it sucks, and you go with it anyways. You keep
you
pushing with
have
it
to.
anyways,
You
and
have
just
to, you know, because
see
it's
what
limited
happens.
time, and
well,
it's like
but then, well, okay, so limited time, yeah, but like if you don't worry about the so the competition, it's not a competition, but the
it's not a
whatever.
competition.
No, there's another word I'm looking for. But if you don't worry about that, doesn't matter what the word is.
Yeah.
Then sometimes what happens is you actually turn it around into something that's amazing. It started out as something that you almost hated, and you're
Yeah.
like, this I don't know, why am I doing this? I should just scratch it and start over. But you're like, no, I don't have time. I gotta do this, and you keep doing it. Then all of a sudden you hit this second wind, and it's like, oh, this is actually real. I don't know if you've experienced that yet or not, but to me, that's
all the time. I mean, the one I turned in for Monday's Hardware Jam, I started with something. I recently seen Peter Gabriel play live in San Francisco. I'm a huge fan of his stuff. I was just listening to one of his tracks I really like, San Jacinto, and that was stuck in my head. And I started to make a jam for something for Dean Daughter's birthday, basically. So it's supposed to be a happy jam, right? Because I usually make kind of darker horror, kind of sci-fi stuff. I don't make a lot of happy stuff. But I thought I'll make
That's
a
a weird
happy one
flash.
for him. And it's, San Jacinto's kind of a happy thing, a little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of sad vocals in it, but it starts out kind of interesting, kind of happy, sparkly. So I kind of started doing some layered arpeggios with similar plinky plonky kind of sounds. And then I totally went a different way with it, but it does sound like it came kind of from that mold. But I totally screwed it up in the first. I only had 2 hours to make it, so and I laid it down in about 20 minutes, and I went, yeah, this is not working out right. Oh my God, I'm running out of time. What am I going to do? And then something happened. I can't even tell you what happened, but I was just fiddle with it a little bit more, and all of a sudden it worked. And then I just kept adding to that, and then so I turned something that was going to be like really shitty into something that was okay, So it happens to me all the time, especially with the
That's
time
the-
constraints.
Yeah, that's what's really cool. With this, what I'm doing until I'll probably keep doing this until I move, which hopefully is real soon. But when I reset everything up, I have no idea what's going to happen when I reset the studio up.
Sure.
But for now, like I'll just take this and I'll this jam, and I'm gonna have to drop off here real soon
No problem.
because I'm gonna stream for about an hour and a half. I better start now.
Oh yeah.
And well, I doubt I'll make it 90 minutes, but that's my goal is to try to go 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go like listen to this 90 minutes of material over the next few days, and try to figure out, oh, okay, what can I do with this?
Yeah.
And
You
then
chop
the
it
next
up
time I
and-
stream, I'll actually try to like set up like whole mute sections, if that makes sense.
I mean, it may be something you like just from the first try. You just chop it up and make tracks out of it.
Well, I can always do that after the fact. This is about doing it like now, so to speak. Like
Right.
figuring out, okay, I'm going to actually compose this now.
Right.
So it starts. I mean, yeah, sorry. I'm still trying to formalize the words for what I'm doing here.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I'm turning a jam into a composition is what
Sure.
I'm doing. Like
'Cause
right now there's
I've had friends come over with different interests and different abilities and stuff, and we've just like done a couple hours of just screwing around recording the whole thing. And there are a couple little gem moments in there, and the rest of it is like, oh man, that's bad.
it happens.
There's enough in there that you go, okay, that might be a nice little track. So I put some of those on SoundCloud and stuff that were fun, So it was fun to do anyway, but there was at least some output that came out of it that could be enjoyed later on. Which is
Oh,
nice.
definitely, yeah.
But not a requirement. It was just fun just to do it. And because if you're playing with somebody who don't know musically that well, like these are friends who I've known for a while, but they're like, oh, I want to try this and try that, and they started to get gear and started to play. I said, yeah, come on over, just play and just goof around and see what happens. And one of my friends, we made some really, really cool stuff together before he moved away. But he's a real musician. He's been playing for a long time. He knows how to program a drum machine like nobody, and he knows how to play guitar. He knows how to play synths at different levels. And so he taught me the hardware jam style, essentially. I didn't know how to do that shit at all. back in like 2008. He taught me how to do all this stuff because I used to just noodle around on my own and just do stupid shit or just sound effects layering, like soundscapes for stuff. And but then he had moved, and so I started doing stuff on my own. But other people would want to come by and play stuff. But yeah, it's fine, let's play. And then like, okay, this guy doesn't really know what he's doing here, but that's fine because we're just having fun. And a couple gems came out of that, you know. And like one of the recordings we did, I had the Voice Live 2 going on, and I was letting him play with like a 303 and some other stuff. I was over in the other part of the room with a boom mic, and I was just hooking up weird hand percussion stuff through the mic, running through weird effects in Voice Live 2, and got some weird trippy shit that of just odd percussion stuff through the really bizarre effects inside the Voice Live 2. And that was fun, you know. I had a blast. And it was something I never do. It was just doing something totally different while he did some other stuff, you know, with the boxes. And it was a nice little aside, nice little fun experiment.
Yeah, this has been great. You tell me, like, I started doing this in 94. Inadvertently, really like 94, 95.
Yeah.
I was it 93 that I really first started taking classes? I think it was like 93 when I first started taking MIDI classes. And by 94, I became a lab assistant at our MIDI lab at the university.
Oh, wow.
So my last semester, as an audio engineering student, I realized I would no longer have access to those facilities. So what I would do is I would go into my shift. I would have like I had 3 shifts a week. I think it was a 4-hour shift and 2 2-hour shifts. So I would go in and I would, you know, set up shop at the main station, start finding sounds, samples, loading stuff up, and then just start playing stuff and just, you know, tweaking around. And the idea was I was just going to we used Performer, Mark of the Unicorn Performer, before it was called Digital Performer. You couldn't even store audio files. It was all MIDI.
Before they even called it Motu.
Before they even called it Motu, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I could have saved all the MIDI sequences, you know, as MIDI files, but I figured, you know what? I'm never going to use this stuff again. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't save the MIDI files anyways, because you can hear it, you can play it. Seriously. It's not hard to recreate a lot of this stuff. Sometimes it's impossible.
Wendy Carlos was a big fan of it back then. She used Performer a lot.
A fan of, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the old days.
So what I did was at the end of I would start the shift. And of course, if any students had a question, I would drop what I was doing and go help them. That was pretty easy to get them back up and running again at that point because I knew, you know, what was going on. And if there was like any open stations and they were just having too much of a problem, I'd say, hey, move to that station over there.
Yeah.
And just
Too much
start
MIDI
over now.
voodoo over there. Yeah.
Yeah, too much voodoo. Let me reset everything over here. You just go work over there for a while. And at the end of the shift, I would dump everything, no matter how far I got, I would dump it all to DAT. That's what we had. And then I eventually transferred the contents of that DAT over to a real CD.
Yeah.
And I've still got all those songs. I mean, I did about 20 tracks, and they're just ideas. They're hardware jams.
Sure.
And that's what got me started. So in 2017, I was looking at drum machines on YouTube. And guess who I ran into? Gaz Williams with the pocket operator PO12 rhythm.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, so I couldn't find one. I found a robot and a Volca kick instead.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I'm gonna just start making hardware jams.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any inspiration other than just I had nothing else to do at that time but to do that.
Yeah.
Didn't have any really way to express myself on my drums at the time.
Yeah.
And then the day that I did that, Cuckoo uploads a video. It was like, what is this, the 3rd January? It was the 2nd or 3rd January. So boom, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And I just got involved in all of that from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I figured, a 31-day challenge, I think I can do that. Because I knew it didn't need to be anything serious at all. You know, you just do something a little silly, 2 minutes, you're done.
Cuckoo's fun. He's like the Swedish loop pop. Like he's really good for certain manuals for certain things. I learned lots of stuff from him for some of my gear.
I don't do well with video instructionals. Nah, I just read the manual. I mean, because I mean I can't.
It's a mix of everything really, but I like their approach. Like Cuckoo has a really fun approach to stuff, and also he's exploring while he's doing it. Like he's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Oh, that's kind of fun. And he starts doing like a little thing, and he's a funky dude, you know.
I mean, that's kind of cool in a way, but it's also, I mean, this is kind of a problem that I have with people that do instructional videos on this gear. It's like I don't think people spend far enough time with the gear before they do a video.
No, but he picks this shit up so quickly.
Sure.
I've never seen a video of his where he is completely lost. He's clearly used it a little bit, and he's done some basic, like he'll start it with a demo sometimes, like, oh, I just made this on this whatever, and then he'll go into maybe how he did it or whatever. But it's just fun because it's not an unboxing, it's not a master class. It's kind of how you would approach it if you just got it yourself. And he knows how to do some stuff, but he's also learning on the fly beyond what he's showing you. And happy accidents and stuff. So I like that approach. I mean, it's definitely not the only way to do it or the best way to do it necessarily, but it's a fun approach, and I learned a lot from that guy about shortcuts and clever things that the manual is a little bit impenetrable on. You know, kind of the manual gets pretty nerdy sometimes in a bad way. And
Well, for that, anytime something like that happens, you have to have a project. You have to have something that you want to do.
right.
And then when you have like a goal, you'll figure it out.
I do
My
that
problem
eventually.
with these is that I'm not, and I'm sorry if this sounds conceited. I'm not trying to sound conceited, but like at some point, you get to a point to where you want more.
Oh,
It's hard to explain.
He gets you interested in going, and now I'm going to do the deep dive myself later. But not only does he make me interested in getting a piece of gear if I haven't already bought it, but if I've already
That's
bought
what I
it,
want to see. I want to see more deep dives.
he does later. I mean, if you watch his other videos, he'll often do a part 2. Like he'll do.
Well, sure, but I don't really have the same gear that he does, so I don't really have a need to watch the videos.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to like Electron,
I have a very, 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 very simple philosophy. One box, one function. One box, one function.
What a group
That's-
box
that's,
is
you know,
multifunction, though.
And I definitely have more than one function in all of these boxes, but for the most part, it's kind of like I buy one thing that does one thing really damn well.
Yeah.
And it handles that. So, like, people complain about mono synthesizers. Why do you want more mono synthesizers? I'm like, have you heard how great they sound when you stack
all
them
sound
together?
different. Yeah, they all sound different. Yeah.
They do all sound different.
Like guitars. The guys have like walls of guitars. They all sound different.
They all sound the same too.
Yeah. I mean, they all sound like guitars, but they don't all sound. That depends.
Well, I
on
mean,
what it
and
is,
somebody
the
can make
age and
somebody can make them sound the same too.
true. That's true.
They can. I mean, they'll have to work to do that, of course.
Right.
And just the same, like I can go here with all these synthesizers, most of them, and well, I mean, all it takes is just dial in the same oscillator, no filter, no modulation, no real overdrive. Keep everything gain staged nicely so everything is a nice shape to it. And so I've just got sound sources. What would for me, like, I don't want a box that has sound sources in it, then also has a sequencer in it, and also has like all these things in it, because I don't know, like when I hear it, I hear one box.
So you never use the Electribe as a multifunction box?
So my Electribes are the EA1 and the ER1.
Okay, because I had the EMX, which is my favorite, and that does, you can do whole songs in there, and it's fucking awesome.
Well, yeah. So think of
I have the other ones too. I have the original ones that are single, like one's a sampler, one's a synth, and one's a rhythm box.
So I've got the synth and the rhythm box.
Yeah.
And what I like about the rhythm box is it is just one of the most enjoyable drum machines I've ever used. It's just
Have you
just
done
a
the hack to
delight
it
to
yet?
use.
You know about the hack?
Didn't even know that there was a hack.
There's a cool hack for it. Yeah,
What is it?
I forgot. You have to look it up.
Okay, I mean
But
it is so cool on its own.
it
You
is
know what I
cool.
mean?
But the hack is even cooler. I just forgot. It's like a year ago that I.
I'll
read
have to
about
look it
so-
up. Yeah, and it has the so somebody a long time ago asked the question, well, how is Behringer going to clone the TR-909 because the hi-hats are proprietary samples?
Yeah.
Well, the Korg ER1 has those 909 hi-hats in them too.
Right.
Not the same ones, but when you hear it, you're like, oh, that's a 909 hi-hat.
They
Maybe
got
it
it
sounds a
close
little
enough.
different.
Yeah, they got it. Close
It's more than close enough. It's just a matter of it sounds like the real thing, but it's been going through like some kind of a filter, or in this particular case,
Process,
the EO1 has a nice stereo presence about it.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about it, is that it kind of has it's almost like a natural chorus effect.
Yeah.
But your EMX by itself has a TB303 inside of it,
Mm-hmm.
has a 909 inside of it,
Yep.
and has like 2 synthesizer parts in it, and like probably another sampler as well.
And the performance features are quite good on it. It's a lot
And
of
it's
knobbage, a lot of
Got 2
real-time
tubes
shit.
in it.
And the tubes, and whether or not people argue all the time, like, does it really do anything? Well, it changes the sound. Whether
It
or not it's really
overdrives.
using the tubes, I don't know, but who cares?
Oh,
It's
check
a different
out
sound.
check out, and I do need to get going here real soon.
Yeah, no
TK_Electron, ELEKTRON, just like the name Electron.
Yeah.
I think he used to do Electron stuff, but this guy, he's in Japan, I'm pretty sure, and he's most likely Japanese because all of his text is in Japanese.
Right.
And but all of his jams for this year are only on the EMX1.
It's just, what's the name again? Just Electron? Or was it
TK_Electron.
TK? Okay. Because another guy, Denki Tribe, is really good. Have you ever seen Denki Tribe? He was doing stuff
No,
with,
I haven't.
He does stuff with the Evolver, with the EMX, with the.
Well, my
kinds of fun
my
little
point
boxes.
is not that he's really good. It's that like, sorry. Lost audio. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong. I'm sorry. I apologize, Andy. I was looking at the YouTube stream. Is when you watch these videos, you'll hear the tube in action.
Right.
Because sometimes like he way overdrives it, but
Sure.
he knows what he's doing it on purpose. But this is a great, like his jams.
Oh, I see him here. Yeah. Okay.
They're like to me like if you want to hear what the EMX sounds like, this guy is really bringing out the qualities of this groove box.
Yeah, that's a great. I mean, I have 2 of them because I love them. But I also have the red one, which is the sampler.
Gotcha. I've always wanted to get one. I just never. I don't.
Well,
just never.
the sampler is not as fun as you think. EMX
No.
is
The
actually better.
EMX. I've always wanted to get an EMX.
Oh, EMX, yeah, because the sampler, they work really well together. The problem with the ESX is it's a lot less knobbage. Loading samples on it is a special program, which is kind of a pain in the ass. It's
Doesn't
made by
surprise
Korg.
me.
Yeah, made by
That's
Korg.
how the vocal sample is.
Yeah, and so there's that, and it's so what I was doing is using the SP404 for the sample duty and slaving that off the EMX.
Yeah.
And that was very cool.
I would probably get an SP404. I have the original MP1, which is the predecessor to all of those samplers.
Oh yeah,
But
There's
I
also
got
this guy too.
you know what I've got though. You know what samplers I have.
Sure.
So there's no need for me to get any of the 404s at this point.
The new one's good. The new one's a whole different animal.
Yeah, but there's like I said, just at some point you got to stop.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I have to because I don't have the money right now. So
Me either, and I don't have the room anymore.
yeah, that too.
I'm literally out of room. That is the good part about being in a small
Like
apartment.
I picked up I have a lot of the SY synths already from the Yamaha, but I never got an SY55, which is just a sample engine. But there's some actually really good presets on there that I was.
Yeah, I don't remember which one the
auditioning.
SY is.
Which one?
The SY, I don't remember which ones those are.
So SY or TG is the rack one, TG55. It's
Oh,
so it's
no?
SY77, SY99, and SY55, and the SY22 is the TG33 in a keyboard form. So
Yeah,
it's,
this is
it's
all new to
FM
me.
mixed with samples.
Okay,
So
okay.
AWM2 samples mixed with FM.
So
Uh,
like their version of Roland's LA synthesis, basically.
Kind of, but it's
A bit
they're-
different, of course.
They're in certain models they're more of a vector synth.
Okay, that's
In
interesting.
other models they're not. Like SY99, SY77 doesn't have the joystick.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's but what's fun is
My hair's not getting long yet. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, because Manny, like Dr. Synth, if you ever watch his stuff, he's expert in all that stuff. He can pull shit out of those boxes you can't even believe. But the 55,
Yeah, I'm not a
he's
I'm
great.
not a synth player.
The 55 I always stayed away from because it was just a sampler, a sample playback, Rompler. So, but I finally found one really cheap locally. I picked up the other day, just because it was there. It was a good shape. It was like $200. It's nothing.
Oh wow, I wouldn't.
So I'm
I don't
like,
blame
gotta
you.
get it, and it's in perfect condition, right? And it has some great sounds on it. So I'm like, I'll get this and try this with some stuff. So yeah, that's the last thing I bought for a while, other than a Pog.
Oh yeah, you get that Pog.
Yeah.
Those things are pretty awesome. They're
and
not.
also
They're
another
not cheap
electro
either.
harmonics pedal that does the the trick where you use the volume knob with your palm to get the on the guitar.
Oh, you got the Attack Decay.
Yeah, that pedal. That's cool.
I've got that one. I haven't
Yeah.
used it yet.
I haven't either. I just saw a demo at the store. I go, what is this thing? And the guy showed me. I go, I got to get that because it was.
Oh come on, let's both be honest. We got it just because it says Attack Decay.
Just because there are a lot of guitar pedals I like potentially, but I won't buy because a lot of them are, from my point of view, duplicates of stuff I already have, even though they're really not. Because I'm not a real guitar player,
This one,
But
the similar pedal is the Cattle and Bread Coriolis effect,
yeah,
and of course the EHX Freeze itself. Have you seen that one?
yeah.
It's kind of similar,
I like
but not
Terra
really.
Echo too. Terra Echo's fun.
Oh, now the Terra Echo is a great delay pedal.
Yeah, where you hold the thing down and you get that drone.
Yeah, that's one.
That's fun.
That's a pedal that got away. That if I'd known about it a couple of years ago, I probably would have one by now.
Yeah.
But I only recently found out about it, and I'm like, I'm done. I got to go. But can I tell you my
no worries.
can I tell you my reverb story first?
Yeah.
Okay, so confession, seriously, and you guys can be the jury. I'm on the jury stand here. Am I guilty or am I innocent here? Okay, so last night I saw a pedal, and I just jumped on it, and then 2 minutes after I bought this pedal, I said to myself, "Wow, that was a mistake. I don't want to buy this pedal anymore."
Yeah.
So I immediately requested a refund, and just basically said it was, and the reason was mistake. And I wrote in the comments, "I'm so sorry to waste your time. This was a mistake. I'm very sorry." And about 5 minutes later, I got an email. Your refund request has been rejected.
Yeah.
And the reason why was, it says, the person said, well, it says very clearly on the listing page, no refunds.
Yeah,
No,
I've seen that.
So he said in the message to me that it says very clearly on the listing page, no refunds.
Yeah.
So I immediately go back and I look at the page again. No, it doesn't say no refunds. It says no returns.
That's why I always snapshot the page in case that guy wants to make a change.
Well, I can't stop him from doing that. And
No, I know, but
right, yeah. And even if I did that, who's to say that I didn't alter it, right? Who's to say
True.
that I didn't fake that to produce that? I don't
there's a
trust anything
timestamp-
digital.
There's a timestamp on your thing. You could forensic a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll commit a crime at that time and take a picture of it with the
Yeah.
monitor in the back, so that way the cops will have evidence.
Exactly.
I'll be able. So I wrote him back, and the funny thing is that it's like I was able to, through the interface, request another refund again. So I immediately requested another refund, and I said no. It says no returns. You haven't shipped the pedal. It's only been 5 minutes.
Right.
Has passed only 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And I said, you know, like, please. And I just went to bed. And I had a weird dream that night that I had this pedal. I'm like, yeah, I got stiffed with this pedal.
Yeah.
So I woke up the next morning and I checked my email, and it was weird. The first thing I see is your refund has been initiated, and the next email, the email right before that was your refund request has been rejected.
Wow.
Like, wow, what's going on? So here's what happened. He rejected it again, and he was like very mad at me, you know.
Yeah.
And he said a number of things here and there.
All caps? Was it in all caps?
No, not all caps. And Reverb, somebody at Reverb went, nope, fuck you, refunded.
Ah, nice. I like Reverb. I've never had any problems with them.
And the guy gave me a 1-star review.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that the 1-star review starts thusly, and I'm paraphrasing though. This guy bought it and then immediately requested a refund. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, it happens, right?
It happens. If somebody did that to me, I'd be like, okay, no
And you
problem.
explained it. You didn't just do it and just drop off.
You know, yeah. And it's not like I've ever done business with this guy before.
Yeah, you're not a serial offender, so.
Exactly. So that's, I mean, I was actually, but here, like Reverb did all of this within minutes.
That's crazy. I'd like to see they do that. That's cool. Because I bought a Ravish sitar pedal. The only deal I could find was one in Italy, of all places.
Mm.
So I knew I was going to get the wrong power supply.
Mm.
Right.
Luckily, that takes a common one though.
Potentially, though. I thought I was going to get it, but I asked them. I said, I know you're shipping it from Italy, and I'll probably have to get another pedal, but can you let me know? Because, you know, I'm buying it anyway. It would be nice to know. And then they gave me this. They didn't answer me for like over a week. So I'm about ready to get the pedal with no answer about my power supply. And I asked a couple more times. I said, I'm buying this pedal from you. Are you reading your messages? You clearly took my order. You're reading your shit. Please respond. I just need to know, do I have to buy another one, or is this one of those multi-region ones? Because sometimes they are. They come with the clip adapter, and the power supply is a switching power supply.
Mm-hmm. That's not, yeah.
No answer. So finally I get it, and it's a fucking, you know, the straight round prong adapter fixed. Right? No adapters for it. Maybe it came with it, they didn't include it. I don't know what happened. But no, not even a basic acknowledgement of my message. Multiple attempts. So I said, in my thing, I gave him basically 1 star. I said, well, thanks for the thing. It's nice to see I got a good price on this, but you guys have zero communication skills. And, you know, it was confusing on what I was buying because all I wanted is a basic question answered about my power supply. Man, you should have seen they went through the roof about the 1 star. Oh my God, we have a perfect record, whatever. I said, yeah, perfect record, but you're also assholes because
Okay.
you know, you don't communicate.
I was almost kind of maybe going to side with him just a little bit, not, but until they all of a sudden you hear from them.
Yeah, you hear about them when you complain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like, oh, okay, well.
I had the same thing once on eBay. A guy bought a weird part for my TS10 from Moscow, of all places. I mean, couldn't find it anywhere else. It's a SCSI adapter for the TS10, kind of a rare part. So I finally, I bought it. I went to a Russian lady at work at the time when I worked at Nikon. And I said, hey, can you translate this for me? Because their tracking site is all Cyrillic. I can't read shit, right? Oh, this means blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Looks like it's on its way. And I keep checking it, even though I don't know what I'm reading. And the site hadn't changed for a long time, like 2-3 weeks. No change. But initial state was still, it's shipped, right? And a lot of times with international stuff from other countries, there's a handover for U.S. Postal Service or whatever. And that's where you lose the connection, right? The site finishes updating, and it's up to you to figure out, is USPS going to tell you or somebody else going to tell you, whatever. And I'm used to that. I got nothing for like over a month or more. And I've been emailing this guy on eBay the same way this other company. What is going on with my tracking? I had a Russian lady at work help me with this because I can't read your tracking site. I just want to find out what it is. I know it's coming. I paid for it. You shipped it. Everything's cool, but sometimes things get lost or stolen. I just want to know, right? 5 attempts over several weeks. Not one single answer. Not even to tell me to stop bugging him. So I get the thing finally, because I forgot about it. I thought, oh, I'm never going to get it now. Like a month and a half later, it finally showed up. And I went in and I gave him a 1 star and basically said, thanks, I finally got my thing. I thought it was lost forever. No communication whatsoever. This is no way to handle a simple shipping process. I'm just honestly asking for feedback because I've had stuff get lost, stolen, or scammed on these sites.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh,
wanna know.
absolutely.
It's just,
Absolutely.
I'm not asking for like the moon.
No,
I'm
it's
asking for basic stuff.
yes, and there are people who will give you that too, just to right?
Yeah. And guess what? He
Same
lost
thing.
it.
They lost it.
Complained, I've got a perfect record. How dare you do this to me, or whatever. I said, how dare you not answer a simple question? It's just
Wow.
common courtesy, right? You already have my money.
I totally
So-
concur.
And
I mean,
so
it's
I've only had
it's
those experiences
really?
a couple times. But it's
You know,
always funny when they get pissed off when they fucked up.
It's two things come to mind. One is that there's somebody who's getting those messages that person hired, and they're not communicating back to the owner.
Yeah.
But they're getting those messages. Or number two, they're afraid to answer.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, they're just I'm not going to answer. Because answering is they figure is the same thing as like, oh well, now I've committed.
But it wasn't a language thing because his English was pretty clear when he was mad at me. So
Well, oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So,
I do got to go. I want to leave with this though. Like,
one more thing before you go.
Of course.
Did you see this before? Did I talk about this ice stomp? Were you there?
yes,
when
you
I mentioned
did.
this?
You talked about it, but you didn't show it. to
So
me.
I found
So
one of them. It's really
found
thin. They're very
Yes,
thin.
they
well
are.
built, very thin.
I've
but
seen those on Reverb.
The
There's
app
white
is
ones
still
too.
working, and everything's great. But the one funny thing I discovered when I unboxed this, because it was one I hadn't opened yet, and one thing I forgot about it is it uses the old 30-pin iOS adapter. So I have a 30-pin to Lightning cable
Oh,
to Amazon today.
Oh wow.
And then
Okay,
it's no
cool,
problem.
cool.
But I can't plug it in today and play with it because all my 30-pin stuff is all dead. I mean, the batteries are dead. I haven't used them for years.
I've got an Arduino guitar pedal that I bought, and it doesn't work. So I got a partial refund for it, and I figure like I can fix it. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
going to be a project someday. But like the idea behind it is brilliant. Like you just make
Oh,
your
yeah.
own DSP and upload it to the pedal and do whatever you want.
I have a similar thing. Have you heard of Daedalus?
Yes, I have.
So Daedalus, who made the Monome and stuff like that, he also made
Yes.
Daedalus. And it
Yes.
has video game buttons on. I bought that, one of his things online, and that thing's really fun.
Oh yeah, I like his approach to modular, but I gots to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
But Andy, right?
Yeah.
Since everybody's getting everybody's names wrong, so just make sure that I'm getting it right
Yeah,
here.
I'm not Richard, so.
Yeah, right. I'm not Richard either. Next time I'm going to put not Richard.
It's
Anyways,
funny.
thanks for having me, man. We'll
thank you,
talk
yeah.
again soon.
See ya. Yeah, thanks.
Bye bye.
All right, so Paul left. Cresshead, are you still there? Or are you done? I'll hang out here a little bit longer if anyone wants to jump in for a bit. Who else is left? Let me check the actual list here. Only 5 watching now, and only 2 in the chat, looks like. Unless Inky's still there. So, Cressa, jump in if you want for a little bit. I think you don't want to join, right, Osteohead? I can't remember. You have like a audio issue, or you just don't want to join the thing. It's fine. It's no big deal. Yeah, yo, he might have fallen asleep. I know that happened before. Wagyu fell at least once or twice. Wagyu fell asleep on the stream, one of the streams somewhere. Camera issue. You can do audio. You don't have to do camera. You just put a little avatar up, or just leave it blank and just chat if you want. It's up to you. No pressure. This is a what you call a safe space, so to speak. The main thing is you have to have something. obviously to hear anything, but also StreamYard, you can't even stay connected if you have nothing active. I noticed the other day when I had that problem with my interface, and both the video and the audio dropped, and I couldn't even connect to my own StreamYard stream because it needs at least an audio or a video connection, or both. But if you have neither, it won't even let you connect. So, but yeah, fun stuff today. I'll try to get my power supply situation sorted out so I can do some theremin control of synths. I think you guys will like that. It's not anything new. People do it all the time, but maybe you guys haven't seen it for a while or seen how you actually hook it up. But I have a couple different ways to do it. One, I need the USB interface, which I couldn't find, and the other one, I need the theremin to MIDI, pitch to MIDI thing in between to route the theremin pitch to MIDI to control other devices. And I couldn't find one of the power supplies for that, so got screwed on both fronts there. Modem update, yeah. Yeah, I know Piero the other day had trouble with the URL stream. He was getting Windows updates. And as everyone knows who uses Windows, whether by choice or not, sometimes they bork your machine. Either things don't work properly or it just you get like a blue screen equivalent when you boot up. And doing the corporate IT stuff for so long, we had Microsoft's SCCM, it used to be called SMS, managing all our patches for our systems in the enterprise. And SCCM is just a nightmare to work with. But the guy who was sending out the SCCM patches to all the systems wasn't vetting them properly. And a few sneaked through without being tested, and several of us, our machines got trashed. Like, there's no recovery disk, because we don't do those anymore. There's no way to basically, it was totally trashed. You couldn't go into the console and fix anything. It wasn't the case where you have like the missing file you have to replace and then it boots up correctly. It wasn't a BIOS problem. It was just crap. So Windows basically uses the world to beta test their patches these days. They don't vet anything like they used to. So as a customer, you're at the mercy of whatever they send your way, and it forces you to reboot. Unlike Windows 7 and lower, Windows 10 and up, you had the forced reboot. There's a way to hack the registry so you don't get the forced patching, or at least the forced reboot. But it's pretty annoying these days, because if they check their quality better, we wouldn't have so many problems with that. Because I literally lost my entire machine twice in the 6-month period. Luckily, I had everything backed up that I needed, but I didn't have an image at the time from a Cronus or whatever, so I had to basically take the stock image, reinstall all the tools that I needed, copy all my data back over. It was a complete nightmare. So these days, if you have a Windows machine that you rely on and you don't do any kind of disk imaging to restore, whether it's a Cronus or some other product out there, it's really a ticking time bomb. Because these updates will come, they'll blow up your machine, and then you're stuck. And you're either starting from Windows from scratch and copying your data back over somehow, or getting somebody to help you with it, because not everyone knows how to do this stuff. That's why IT people exist. So pretty much a nightmare. So it's not a good thing. 11 was supposed to make things better, of course, but it's Microsoft, right? It is what it is. So I still use 10 on most of my machines. I haven't gone to 11 because it's no longer bleeding edge, but I just know a lot of people have issues with it, and I don't really need the new features, to be honest. Even the new security features don't make it bulletproof. So unless it's a compelling reason or it's a corporate thing where you have to run it for your job, I'm not going to run the latest stuff like that. Just like I don't do the same with my Mac OS. I mean, I don't even have Apple Silicon products. I just have Intel chip stuff. And so I'm running an old like Yosemite or something like that on one of my drives, and then I have a boot stick to go into High Sierra or one of those later ones just to run some modern stuff that I need once in a while. But most of my stuff runs perfectly fine in my old non-bleeding edge system. It's just one of those things. Oh, cool. So yeah, you're doing incremental imaging. That's good. It's a smart thing to do. Most people don't even know what that is or how to do that, but you know, a lot of computer savvy and music tech people are into that stuff, so they at least know about it, and definitely some know how to do it. So that's good that you have it. I haven't put the Acronis on this system yet because I haven't needed to, but at least all my stuff is backed up. So if I had to reinstall a few things, it's not that big of a deal. But if I had to be mission critical up and running every day on this particular machine, then I would definitely have my imaging tools running, because it's kind of a no-brainer. The problem is Acronis changed their licensing policy. It's all subscription based now, which is like everything else. It's annoying. So you can't just buy it and be done with it. You have to buy it and pay some stupid cloud fees and stuff like that. Last I checked, I don't know, maybe I didn't check the right box. So that's also annoying because you're constantly paying for stuff instead of just buying it outright. So anyway, since almost nobody's here anymore and nobody wants to come in and chat, and I've got other stuff to do anyway, because we've had a good, what was it here? 3 hours, looks like. 3+ hours. So that's not bad. So, thanks to everyone who came. Thanks to everyone who's still here. Thanks to anyone who watches the replay, make comments, whatever, the usual rigmarole. And yeah, see, exactly 3:24 a.m. where you are. You want to go to bed, right? So, so yeah, I'll cut it off here, guys. And appreciate everyone participating. Sorry for the beginning today. It started late because I was looking for all those parts like I mentioned. I had to run a couple quick errands, and also, and I forgot to put the stupid stream on like when I started, so nobody could join. So I'll remember that for next time. And that's about it. So, thanks everybody. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, replay, and so forth. And catch you later. Peace out.